Hi, everybody. This is GM John Fedorowicz. Welcome to the ICC's SimulMaster Simul, March 31st, 2018. Hope everybody's well. Haven't seen you guys for about a month, and we'll get started any second. As far as the chess world goes, congratulations to Fabiano Caruana. I was rooting for him. I thought that if he won that tournament, that probably he would. I thought if he won that tournament, he could present a good match for against Carlsen. I think Fabiano has the kind of style that might work well. Also, you can figure the St. Louis people, maybe Rex Sinkfield will get him some nice coaches. I heard Fabiano works with Rustam Kashizhanov. That can't hurt. And then a couple other guys would be good too. I don't know who else. Somebody like Schvidler, I always thought, would make a great coach. So good luck to everybody in the Simul. And I'm playing E4 in every game today. Want to see how that one works out. Good to try different stuff. Usually I mix it up, but just played E4 in everything. Okay, against Ernie 1, we have a Caro Can. Let's see, what should I try? I think against Ernie, I'll go D4, and then maybe I'll think about it. Mickey 1943, I think it's his first time in a Simul, so a French defense. Hippopotamus, E4, E5, I always play Rui Lopez's. Same with Trivial Pursuit. Another French from Touch This. Touch This, we were talking about American football before the Simul started. And I think he's a Giants fan. That's American football. Hayen, E4, E5. Dragon 18 has played a French. I would have thought with the name Dragon 18, maybe he would play a dragon. So E4, E6, D4. Get a few Frenches. Another French from Mystic Knights. Looks like some kind of perk from Alahote. Starts off E4, G6. I go D4, of course. Zebile, another possibility for Rui Lopez. And the same goes for Aslan. So, and Cap 78 red, 2.1. And Spindock, E4, Knight C6. Good to see you too, Spindock. And always good. Thank you for saying it's always good to hear my thoughts, as ridiculous as they may be sometimes. March 16, I always play open Sicilians. And now let me see, what should I play against Ernie today? Against the Caro Can, I've played exchange variations. The normal thing with Knight C3. I have my students play the advanced variation a lot. But since it's a Simul, I think I'm going to try out the exchange variation. Let's see what to play against Mickey. I'm going to try a Tarish against Mickey in a French. Ears, Ears, take it easy with the Duncan Subtle stuff. E4, D6, D4. Let's see what Ears is doing here. He's been so sound. Ears has been so sound lately when he's been playing against D4, playing Tartakovers and stuff like that. So pretty nice for Ears. So we'll see what happens there. Whether it'll be some kind of Duncan Subtles. For you guys that don't know, Duncan Subtles was one of the strongest Canadian players, and he was also famous for playing very strange openings, kind of like international master Lawrence Day and several other Canadians who played these crazy openings. And they had names like the Rat and the Hippopotamus and stuff like that, and really kind of weird styles, maybe not developing the pieces, and pawn chains, playing, with the bishop on G7 and the knight on G8, and not really doing too much else. And when I was a kid, me and my friends John Tisdall and Michael Rode, we went through a phase where we were actually playing this stuff, and at some point I just decided that it wasn't really the best way to learn how to play chess. So, okay, let's see what happens with Alhote. E4, G6, D4, Bishop G7, Knight F3, C5. In this position, I usually take, or I play D. I could go D5 and get into a Benoni kind of thing. I think I'm going to try D5 there, see how that goes. Spindock, E4, knight C6, knight F3, D5. The usual moves there are D6 and an E5. So let's see what he wants to do. I take on D5. Always take on D5 in those positions. And now hippopotamus. Let's see. Usually in this Ruy Lopez, I've been teaching my students to go D3 to avoid the dreaded Berlin, which won Kramnik the world championship against Kasparov and has been causing suffering. A lot of suffering for both the people that play it and the people that play against it, and also the spectators. But look, I mean, I don't mean it. The Berlin defense is a good opening. It does the job. It allows the really super GMs to get equalize pretty fast and get solid positions and make draws. That's basically what the opening's for, and it does its job really well. It's a very good solid defense. And the funny thing is, when I was a kid, Arthur Bisgar used to play openings. GM Arthur Bisgar used to play openings that would trade queens. So I didn't know it was called the Berlin defense for a really long time. I didn't have the faintest idea what it was. I was never good with the names of the openings. Okay, moving Dutchman, E4, D5, a trade as usual. Hayen has gone bishop C5, so we get into some kind of, what do they call that, the Archangel, Ruy Lopez. Alhote has gone D6, and so I'm going to go C4, and then we're in a regular Benoni. Ears is going for the perk. Let's see what kind of perk this will be. I always play classical. I studied Walter Brown games. I was Walter Brown's coach. Dragon has gone bishop to D7 I've played the advanced French in a couple of the games, and now in this position, I think I always play A3. Let's see, hippopotamus, also another variation in the in the Archangel that's in the Ruy Lopez with bishop C5. The super GMs like that opening; they all do it. So it's a very tough opening. We have some Petrovs going on. Petrovs, another annoying opening. Spindock says Duncan Suttle's book collection, would like to get my hands on it. I know in the Mechanics Institute library, there's like huge Duncan Suttle volumes. I couldn't believe it. I mean, nothing against Duncan Suttle's, but these books were like they were the size of War and Peace. So. And that's in the Mechanics Institute library in San Francisco, a few floors down from the chess club. Okay, let's see what happened here. Mickey developing with bishop to D3. I got to make sure I don't confuse myself because I have some advanced variations and I have some Tarishes going on, so I got to make sure I don't confuse myself there and play the wrong move in those. Move in Dutchman, we got a Scandinavian, or we used to call it a center counter, E4, D5, E takes D5, knight F6. My friend GM Joel Benjamin taught me some lines with D4. Ears, classical, bishop E2. I think that's enough. Same against Cap Red. Let's see. Looks like an open Ruy Lopez, open Sicilian of some kind against A4, H5. Hippopotamus. I did the fork trick. Let's see how that one goes. Touch this has gone A6, and now do I play A3 in this one also? I think I do. C4, Dragon 18 is playing the locked variation of the in the advanced French. He locks with C4, completely clogs up the position. Not a bad line for black if that's your style, because it's a pretty locked position, and then white usually develops with G. I usually do G3 and bishop H3. An exchange, Caro-Kann against Kanishka. B5 from Hayen. I have to move my bishop back to B3. En passant against Aslan 777 in the Petrov. And Spindock has gone queen to A5. Now let's see what on queen A5. I feel like I should be going D4 there. Knight C6 sometimes is premature in these openings. Okay, Knight D7 from Alhote. and I think I'm going to develop with bishop to d3. That's in a Benoni that came from a Sicilian move order. Bishop e2 against Mystic Knights. We're in the Guimard variation against the French. That against the Tarish, that's knight c6 on move 3. And let's see what happens against Indian Taker. Trivial Pursuit, normal Ruby Lopez. Zebile, possibility for a Berlin. Maj, we're getting into maybe a Taimanov or a Can. I'm going to do a classical approach against a4, h5 in the classical Sicilian. Knight takes e4 from Hippopotamus. Queen e2 is the confusing theoretical move there against Hippopotamus. I had a game with Boris Gulko with that once. I think that was in the 89 U.S. Championship. Touch this. I'm going to aim my pieces at the king side. Bishop d3 feels right. Castling against ears. Developing with bishop g2 against Dragon 18. Bishop d3 against Aslan. Nothing ridiculous here. All normal openings. A knight off against against Indian Taker. I just go bishop to e2. And Trivial Pursuit. Trivial Pursuit might be threatening to do a Marshall on me. I learned a long time ago not to mess with the Marshall. I'm watching the Met game. I'm not a Mets fan. That's American baseball. D4 against Trivial Pursuit. My friend GM Ilya Gurvich taught me that opening. Hayen has gone queen to f6. And now I think I go c3 there. And against Cap Red, castling. That's still in a classical. We have to see what position he does. And now what to do against Spindock. Spindock has gone bishop to g4. And I got to be careful about this. This could be one of these deals with the castle's queen side and stuff. So I have to be careful. This one could get a little crazy after bishop to g4. I'm thinking that I have to take the pressure off my pawn here. So probably I would think probably bishop to b5 feels like the right move there. Pretty interesting. And I remember one time I played against the Portuguese variation of the Scandinavian. And black tries to castle queenside and put pressure on the position. And man, I think I lost the game in like 20 moves once. And then after that, I was really afraid of the opening. It's just really But I think this is a different move order. So bishop to b5 seems like the right move. Okay, against Elote, I think I go knight to c3. And we're in a regular Benoni. Moving Dutchman's gone bishop to g4. And my friend GM Joel Benjamin taught me bishop to b5 check there. Pawn takes pawn against Mickey. And now queen f4 against Haslund. Got to move my queen out of the way. Queen f4 seems right. Okay, now Hayen has gone d6. And let me see. I feel like a4 should be the right move for me there. Try and cause some trouble. Maj has gone knight f6. I go knight c3. Ears has gone bishop g4, and I will go bishop to e3. Bishop g4 from Ernie and a Caro-Can, and I go queen b3. Bishop g4 is a good line. And now against Alhote, I think h3 is a good move for me there. Okay, Dragon 18, knight f5. I think I just castle king side and then try to do stuff later. Zebal's gone bishop c5 also. Same thing as before. I'm going to try this knight takes e5 there too. Bishop takes d4 from Hippopotamus. I don't know if that's the right move. I thought queen e7 was the right move. Well, I have to take my knight back on e4, and then he's got a jumble of pieces in the center. I think that he's got to be really careful about this. Something bad may happen to him. Okay, Spindock, we're about to get into an extremely messy position there. I played bishop to b5, and he counseled queenside, and I would think that I played bishop takes c6. Must do, but opens up his king, looks pretty reasonable. Okay, Mickey, I take on f6. That's in the Tarish French. And I've taught my students, with Ears is playing, I've taught my students to play h3 in that position. Maj has played D6, so he played a Scheveningen move order. Most people don't play the Scheveningen move order because they're afraid of the carries attack. And I won a lot of nice games in the carries attack in the old days, but I teach my students the classical, and I've studied Karpov games, and studying Geller games is another nice thing to do. I thought those guys played great in this classical type of stuff with Bishop E2. Very, very, very strong players. Okay, let's see what happened to Asia. Is it Aslan 777? He's gone Bishop to G7 there, and now so I'm going Bishop takes C6 in the spin knock game, and now I have to see what to do here. So against Aslan, I feel like Rook E1 check could be a good move there. Although sometimes you do these Rook E1 checks, and they take it, right? Or they go Bishop E6, and it looks like it's the right move, but maybe it's not. So that's an interesting situation there to see. Usually, the reason for that development is that he'll block with Bishop E6, and it seems really reasonable. They do this knight G5 stuff, but it's a little bit tricky looking. So, but I mean, Rook E1 must be the right move. Let me try it out. Okay, Indian taker's going Queen C7, and I think I should just castle. Usually E6 there, but I don't see a good way to take advantage of his move order, so I'm just going to castle. Let's see. We have Hayen has gone Rook to B8. I think I'm going to clear up the situation by taking on B5. Pawn takes C6 against spin dock, and I'm going to go H3 and see if I can break that annoying pin. Bishop E7 from Dragon 18, and now in these locked positions, what's my story here? Do I want to go Rook to E1? Let's go Rook to E1, and then maybe I'll get that Knight D2 stuff and things like that. Trivial Pursuit C3. This transposes into a pet line of mine from a long time ago. It's actually I've won some good games with that, including a famous game with Sammy Reshevsky. Also, speaking of Sammy Reshevsky, in case people haven't noticed, is that very nice magazine, the American Chess Magazine, and part of the reason, let's see, no, Mickey asked me if I tried Knight F4. That's the one where they get the wall in the center, and I never really trusted it, so I usually just stuck to the to the regular lines. Hippopotamus has played a very, very tricky move. Now, so Hippopotamus has gone Queen to F6 against me, and if I take his bishop, he goes Knight F3 and wins my queen. But I have to see here, do I have any decent move here? C3, I'm looking at pins and stuff like that. I'm thinking about C3 might be a good move. Making sure so attacking the bishop, and the bishop goes back, and I'm looking to see about pins. So I'm going to try C3 against Hippopotamus. Looks like a very forcing continuation. Okay, now against Hayen, what do I do here? Do I have anything tricky with D4? I'm looking at things like takes and then Knight G5 and stuff like that. It seems like Hayen's position is not bad, or D4 and then Bishop G5 possibly. That might be something to think about, but I think I'm just going to settle for D3 and play normal there. Okay, I'm going to try Knight G5 against Aslan. Queen B3 from Ernie, right move, and I go Bishop to F4. And now, let's see, Indian taker is starting to mess around with his move order a little bit much here. He hasn't gone E6 yet. And when they don't go E6, you're always looking to see if Knight D5 becomes some kind of move. But I don't know. Knight D5 he would trade, and then maybe he'd trade on D4. And then he would maybe take, I don't know, I guess he could try to take on C2. It looks dangerous. And I could just transpose with Bishop to E3, but somehow I feel like I should give Knight D5 a try out here. So I'm gonna try that pawn sack with Knight D5 and see what the story is. Okay, Cap Red has gone C5 in that classical perk. a decent line. There's bishop g4 and c6, and I'm going to transpose into, I think they call it the Schmidt-Benoni, which is d5. b5 from dragon 18, and I'm going to go knight to d2, just develop myself. Al-Hote, b6. I don't know about b6, Al-Hote, and a Benoni. I'm not sure if that's a good fit. Okay, knight f3 against Mickey 1943. Let's see, against Hayen. Hayen went h6, stops bishop g5 stuff. I'm going to go bishop to e3. And now, let's see, against Hippopotamus. Is it possible I could be going for a quick decision here? What's bishop to f4, pin it and win it? Looks reasonable to me. And how does he protect his knight? What does he do? Maj, we're just going to be in a classical shenanigan. I'll go bishop e3. Queen takes e2 against moving Dutchman, trying to get a slight space advantage. Pawn takes pawn against Mystic Knights. Let's see what Indian Taker's up to here. Okay, and now castles from Aslan, and I'm going to try knight takes e6. c3 against Cap Red. I don't really understand this move. I tell this to my students. When I go block with a pawn, then what does the check do really? So I think c3. I think that helps me. So I'm very grateful to do it, and I will do it. Bishop f4 against Cap Red seems like a reasonable thing, and Dragon 18 is starting to work on the queen side, probably with this b4 coming up, and then I have to see. What am I doing here? I'm wondering if I should go g4 at some point. And then, I don't know. If I was going g4, then I'm not really sure why I went rook to e1, to tell you the truth. I probably could have done this g4 stuff without rook to e1. And so I think I'm going to go knight to f1 there, try and make something out of his position. Trivial Pursuit, d5 is the right move. That's not Rui Lopez with bishop g4. Hayen has developed with bishop g4, and I'll just go knight to d2. Queen c7 against Mickey, and I teach my students g3 in this position to do some bishop f4 stuff. Against Maj, I go f4, and let's see against Aslan. Aslan is taken back, and I'm going to go queen to g4. Knight takes d5, moving Dutchman has to do. Knight f3. My friend GM Joel Benjamin taught me white should just have a space advantage there. Okay, against Hippopotamus, I guess I'll just go queen takes e5, and I think I'm up a piece, right? So that looks okay. Knight takes d4, queen takes d4 from Indian Taker. Bishop f4 against Kanishka. And now, what do I do against Cap Red? He wants to do this stuff with b5. I'm thinking about just knight to d2. Or I can maybe go a4. Do I have to be careful of any tricks from him? Looking at h3, I think I'm going to try h3 and see what Cat Red's up to there. b4 from Dragon 18. I'm going to trade and then trade some rooks. I don't know why Cap 78 just didn't go bishop back to d6 there. He gave me c3 for free, and c3 for free is a useful move. It defends the center. It gives me queen c2 sometime. I'm thinking about queen c2 right now, actually, and to see if I can gain time on his knight and maybe make him go backwards. Bishop d7 from Maj, and now against Maj, after bishop d7, the rule is usually on bishop d7 to play knight to b3, because black wants to exchange on d4 and play bishop c6. So I'm going to go knight to b3, and queen to f6 from Aslan 7-7. So I got to see what the story is with that. He goes knight takes, queen takes, and of course he played queen f6, and queen f6 has a big threat behind it. f2 is hanging, and I think that should just play. I got to play it safe here. I can't develop my bishop. I think I'm just going to go queen to e2. And to prevent my pawn with the queen and try to be safe. All right. Hayen has gone knight e7. And I'm going to just go h3 and ask him what he wants to do with that bishop. Trading rooks against Dragon 18. Now, Zebal I did the fork trick on him and he castled. So this is an interesting situation. I think I'm going to take on c6 and just try to go d3. Okay, now against Hippopotamus, I want to consolidate my piece up. So I'm thinking of just going queen back to e2, making sure everybody's protected and no forks and whatnot. Okay, bishop c2 against Trivial Pursuit. So seems to be coming out of the openings here in pretty decent shape. Castles, bishop f4 against Mickey 1943. e5 from Indian Taker, and I feel like I got to open up the position here, so I'm going to take on e6. Touch this, bishop to b7. I feel like I have a nice French here. The only thing I'm wondering about is if I should ever take on c5 and then try to use the d4 square. I think that could be an interesting thing for me to do. I'm going to take on c5. Dragon 18. I'm just trying to make sure that something doesn't happen on the queen side. I'm looking at g4s again. Bishop g4 is some kind of positional move. Knight e3 maybe. I think I'm going to try for knight e3, but Dragon 18's put together a good position. Okay, Aslan 717 has gone knight to e5 after I went queen e2. And let's see what he's after my bishop. And I'm thinking of just developing with knight to c3. And does he make sure he doesn't have any funny threats here? I don't know. There's no knight g4, so knight c3 looks okay. Okay, queen h5 from Spindock. After Spindock, after I played h3, Spindock went queen h5. Working on the pin, very tactical. And now I have to see what are the nice moves here. I don't want a castle. He'll take on f3. So I'm looking at possibly bishop to e3 or queen e2. Maybe getting ready to castle on the king side could be possible. So what seems to be the best here? Queen e2, and if takes, I think queen e2 looks pretty reasonable. So I'm going to go for queen e2 and see if I can do something there. All right, Hippopotamus has gone d6. And I think I'm very happy to go bishop to d3, try to force some trades off. Bishop e6 from Heian. And I'm going to just go bishop to c2 and decline that and see if maybe later I could get some center going. Okay, now, here's the problem with Indian Taker's position. He's going to have trouble developing his bishop on e7. It's move 11. And I feel like my position, that I'm very happy about my position here. I'm thinking of just the normal-looking c4 and just protect the pawn, keep all the stuff, and see what the story is. So I think I'm just going to go c4 there. Rook c8 from Maj. And against Maj, I think I'm going to play king to h1's the usual routine. Bishop takes knight from cap red point. Queen takes b3 from Ernie. I'm not sure if Ernie's supposed to do that. The double pawns might help me in those kinds of positions. Knight g4 from Mickey 1943. And he hopes he's remembering his Watson. So, interesting business there. Let's see if he remembers his Watson. I don't know that I ever studied my Watson, to tell you the truth. But I have studied this with a lot of my students. I'm not sure this position, but similar positions. I had a good game some years ago where I beat the Canadian junior. I think Richard Yang maybe, and in a good game in that opening. And so we got to see what's the story there with Queen c7. Of course, is a good move. And to stop the bishop f4, g3 is consistent with trying to make it in, still trade, the positionally correct kind of thing, to trade the so-called bad bishop for good bishop type of stuff, and in those positions. So after knight g4, you got to see what's the situation there. There's several ways to do this. I seem to remember something about rook to c1 and from some players. So I think rook to c1 seems to be some kind of move. I don't know if there's exchange sacks here or not. If there's an exchange sack, it's just the queen and that knight down there trying to cause trouble. So I'm going to try that out. Okay. Aslan has gone queen h4, probably threatening some kind of knight to g4 fork stuff. Can I just go h3 and put an end to it? Looking out for tactics all over the place. Bishop takes. I think I'm going to try just h3 and then see if I can come out. Queen f6 from Hippopotamus, attacking my bishop. I just go bishop g3. Knight d2 against touch. This looks right, trying to establish a thing. And then queen. We have queen c5 of Indian taker, and I don't want to trade the queens. I'd like to keep an eye on the on this g7 pawn, so I'm going to try. I'm looking at queen to c3, and we'll see how that one goes. Okay, bishop to d6 from Moving Dutchman, and that's in the that Scandinavian where he went knight f6. So now what are my choices here? Bishop g4 is the Portuguese variation, and the idea of that was to trying to come out fast and take back with the queen. And when you come out fast and take back with the queen, then what happens is it gets very tactical because Black's going to try to castle queenside and stuff like that. So now let's see what Moving Dutchman here has just gone bishop to d6. And the usual routine here is just to go c4. So what's the story with bishop to d6 there? I'm thinking I just go c4, and I don't know. Can he go knight f4, or is that the idea? So I'm going to go c4 looks correct for me. So I'm just going to go c4. Okay, f5 from Cap Red Point, and now I'm looking around here. En passant must be right for me. Yes. And he has to take back with a knight, I'm pretty sure. Okay, Kanishka's gone bishop to g7. I just go knight e2. Bishop takes f3 against Cap Red. Rook f7 from Aslan 777. Okay, now, what do I want to do here? I'm thinking that knight e4 could be some kind of good move just to trade some stuff. Bishop e3, if I have to be safe, doesn't seem bad either. So I'm looking at knight e4, and I'm wondering on knight e4, just keeping an eye on tricks, making sure there's no rook f2, bishop e3 kind of stuff, things like that. So I think I'm going to go knight to e4 against Aslan, or bishop to e3. Either one seems right. I think I'm going to go for bishop to e3 and overprotect things. Okay, Hayen's doing a good job here. He's gone knight to g6. And I think I'm going to go on some mission here with my rook to a6. Seems like the kind of thing they do, trying to create some tricks there and bother the knight. Bishop d7 from Hippopotamus. I'm very happy to go knight d2 and get my pieces out. I'm up a piece. Ears, pawn takes pawn. Rook e8 from Trivial Pursuit. And I'll go h3 and ask him where his bishop's going. Pawn takes pawn against Dragon. Dragon's trying to work on my queen's side. Okay, now, against Cap Red Point, do I want to go bishop g5 now, or do I want to castle? I think I should castle. Knight e7 from Touch This, and I feel like knight b3 should be the right move there, getting my knight out, trying to maybe use the d4 square. Zebile has gone pawn takes c6 with the b pawn, and I'm thinking of just going d4 and trying to keep all my stuff. This is let's see what this is. D3 seems to be a reasonable move too. All right, I think I'm just going to go D3 and try and take it easy there. Okay, so we have Aslan 777 has gone rook a f8. I'm keeping an eye on tricks, and I'm just going to go rook to d1 and continue to develop. Castles from Kanishka. I go knight f3. Knight takes f4 against Mickey. And let's see, and I think bishop g5 against Cap Red should be the right move there. So I'm going to chuck my bishop out there and bother his pawn. And now Hippopotamus, I'm going to go queen on queen and offer him a queen trade. Queen e5 from the attacker, attacking my bishop, and now I have to see. I obviously want to defend my bishop, and I'm looking at queen to f3. I don't want to trade queens here. I have nice development. If I thought somehow I was jumping his b7 pawn, I would probably trade the queens and go bishop f3, but I don't think I am. So is queen f3 a good move here? I'm going to try queen f3 and ask him about his b7 pawn. Okay, we have moving Dutchman has retreated, knight on 5 to f6, and let's see what to do there. I think that, knight f4 was probably not a good retreat because I'm coming out with some stuff there. I would probably take and have queen e4 winning a pawn, so I'm just going to develop against moving Dutchman with knight c3. Queen a5 from Dragon, and against Dragon, I have to defend my pawn, so I'm going to go queen to c2. And now we have ace e6 from Spindock in that crazy kind of Scandinavian thing. So I did queen e2, and he did e6, and now he has to be really careful here. Something bad might happen. First I have to look at queen a6 and make sure there's no funny mates. Queen a6 looks pretty strong. I'm going to go queen a6 and g5 from Aslan, and now he wants to do g4, which is it's his attack doesn't seem bad at all here. And what should I do here? I've developed my pieces normally, so I feel like my position should not be that bad here. But when he gets g4, and what's going to be the story there is the question. So I'm thinking of just stopping it with f3. F3 looks pretty reasonable. Stop that. Knight fd7 from Cap Red, and now he's threatening b5. And what do I want to do about this pawn on c3 also? I'm going to just try to retreat with bishop to d2 and keep everybody, and just play that position. All right, so touch this has gone bishop to b6, and now I have to see. I think I'm just going to go queen to e2, and I feel like I'm happy here. Now, Hippopotamus, I've been doing lots of queen on queens because I'm up a piece, so trading the queens makes sense, right? So let me go queen on queen one more time. Although bishop f4 doesn't look bad, so I'm going to go queen on queen with queen f4. Knight e2 against ears. And Mystic Knights has gone bishop to d6. I come out with knight e3. And moving Dutchman has gone h6. And now, how do I want to develop here? I'm thinking of just going knight to e5 and trying that kind of stuff. Bishop to d7 from Trivial Pursuit. I'll go knight bd2. That's not really Lopez. Ernie's got knight bd7. I'll go knight d2. I'm going to use the a file. And now Aslan has done a sacrifice on f3 that I did not think about, and that could be a little bit rough. Let's see what happens with that. Rook takes f4 from Mickey, and I'm going to take back on f4, and let's see. He's trying to remember his Watson. Yeah, John Watson has written some nice books with this on a lot of different openings, and so with the French defense. So let's see what happens here. Rook takes f4, and then queen takes f4 is certainly going to happen, and then I have to see what to do here. Maybe h3. Does that get rid of that knight? So I'm gonna try h3. Looks like it's gonna be a sharp one there. And let's see. And so Cap Red had changed boards. Okay, against c5 from Cap Red. And I'm looking around here. I'm just gonna go knight to d2. Looks okay. H6 from Dragon 18. And I guess I'll just go h4. And I'm not sure exactly what I'm doing here. It looks nice, but you never know when he's going to get some play on me. I was almost thinking about going. I don't know if I'm playing on the king side anymore against him. and I want to make sure that the queen side for me is okay. So I'm going to try rook to b1 and make sure nothing bad happens on the queen side. Touch this has gone h6, and I think I'm going to go h4 and see if I could do something to here. All right, now what happens on spin dock? Knight to e5. What is I make sure that there's no mates on d1, and knight e5 seems to have a lot of threats. Am I missing something? It looks nice. I'm going to do it. Okay, rook takes f3 from Aslan, and now this one is a real situation here. It's always somewhere on some simul I just get myself murdered, and I guess it's not easy to play tactically in a simul. So I think that this one I think I had a good game here, and just it didn't work out so hot here. So let's see what to do. I don't know. I might have to. This might be a resignation here already on 20 moves against the Petrovs. So let me see what sort of moves can I think about here to try and live. He's threatening rook to g3, and I don't know. I might have to put my queen in the way, and that's not going to be very good. So I think I don't see any kind of move here. So I'm going to have to resign against Aslan. So knight takes f3, good move. And let's see what happens against Zebal. Knight back to f3. Moving Dutchman played a6, and I guess I'll come out with bishop to f4. No more. Me and Hippopotamus have been fooling around with queen trades. I guess I'm done with the queen trades, and now I'll just go knight to c4 and see if I can maybe trade down, take some bishop or something like that. Okay, now Indian Taker's gone rook to b8. And I'm looking for ways to come out fast here. Bishop to f4, bishop to f3. Bishop to f4 is pretty interesting. Anything where I could come out fast and keep him from developing is what I want to do. Bishop to c3 maybe also not bad. Sorry, bishop to d2 with the idea of bishop to c3. And if he snatches the pawn. Okay, I'm going to try that one and then see if he's, what his deal is there with snatching the pawn. Bishop to e3 also to meet. Queen takes with rook to b1, but I think bishop to d2 looks pretty cool there. And see if I could develop. Okay, now, what's going on here? I got Heian to go knight to d8. And now I'm looking at stuff like d4 and what's the deal with, is d4 good? B4 maybe makes him take it, but I don't know. I think that d4, also, bishop takes c5 for me. And to bother, is there any way to pester that pawn on c5 once it gets there? So lots of different things. I think that d4 feels like it should be the right move there. Okay, let's see. Castles against Kanishka. Queen takes f4. I'm going to do h3 against Mickey. Let's see. We have Cap Red has developed with knight to c6. And I'm just wondering here. I'm thinking of just going rook to e1. Maj has gone a6. And I'm pretty sure I followed that with a4. g6 from Trivial Pursuit. I go knight f1. Moving Dutchman's gone queen e7 and rook ad1 seems right. Queen e7 from Ears c3 seems right. There's a good game. There were some good games in this line, Ears, that I studied. I really think that White has a nice position here, pretty much for nothing in this opening. Okay, pawn to b4 against Hippopotamus. Zebal has gone d6. And I'm thinking of just taking it easy with h3. Are there any tricks? Rook to e1 doesn't look bad. Bishop to e3 doesn't look bad. I'm going to go bishop to e3. Okay, now let's see. Dragon has castled, and I'm going to go h4. Dragon's position is pretty solid. I mean, I didn't really accomplish much from that opening. Okay, bishop e7 from Indian Taker, and I'm just going to go bishop to c3. Looks good. C6 from Moving Dutchman, and let's see. I'm on the lookout for D5 ideas at some point. It feels like I should go rook to E1 and just build. Knight takes bishop against hippopotamus looks nice. E5 from Aljote locking. All right, so but locking it, if he was going to do this, he probably shouldn't have gone B6 and probably shouldn't have gone bishop to B7 either, because in these lock positions, the bishop on B7, what's that stupid chess expression? They say it's biting on granite or something. So I'm not really sure what that is. So it's biting on granite. Okay, let's see what happened with cap red. Do I want to go H3 and then knight F1 or knight F1? And is C4 ever going to be a move for him? So I think I think I'll first go H3 after the other game where I got murdered. I got to be a little careful. Aha! Bishop C8 from Heian, a counterattack on my rook. And now where should my rook go? Rook to A5, or I think somehow the rook should go all the way back. Exchange sack. Nah. Pawn takes pawn on E5. Don't really see a good continuation. Queen A1 exchange sack. Queen A1 exchange sack. Nah, I don't believe it. So I think I'm just going to go rook all the way back to A1. Okay, castle and queen side for moving Dutchman. And I feel like somehow there should be something big happening here soon. Now I'm looking. I don't know if knight C6 is some kind of good move here, because I would have to trade on D6 and then it goes C5 and then queen C7 and his queen's over there. So I think that in this position I got to look. You always look for D5 ideas and see if anything's up with that. And it feels like this position feels pretty nice for me. I think I'm going to try bishop to G3 and just make sure that guy's protected. Okay, now against hippopotamus, it's a piece, nice. So I just want to make sure I don't hang things. So I'm just going to go rook to E1 and continue to play solidly and to trade down. Cap red, 2 point. Let's see now. I think I should just go knight back to F1. And queen C7 from touch this. And now it's a good question. Where will touch this go? I'm thinking about bishop F4. Looks very nice for me. I don't know where his king's going to go in this game. I think I'm ready for him on both sides. Okay, Mickey has played E5. Another very sharp solution here. And I'm going to take on E4. And so I'm taking on E4 against Mickey. Let's see, Queen G5 against Indian Taker. Defending his G7 pawn makes good sense. And now, what sort of ideas do I have here? I mean, am I better positionally here? Is that what this is all about? Just to maybe bother his just bother the D pawn or something and be better, or do I have anything big here? All right, I think I'm just going to go rook AD1 and get the pieces out. I don't see any attack. Dragon 18, I'm going to trade the rooks. Zebal's gone bishop to B6, and I think I'm just going to go knight to D2. Rook E1 from Kanishka, rook E8 from Kanishka, and I'll go rook E1. And let's see what to do here against Ernie. Ernie's coming out with E6. I think I'm going to just go knight on G to F3. Maybe I double on the A file for him later on. All right, now let's see what to do here against Trivial Pursuit. Always have to keep an eye on these knight C4 ideas, whether they're going to bother me or not. If I go bishop E3, goes knight C4, and I have to go back, that might help his knight go back to where, to a better place. I'm going to try pawn to B3. Keep that knight off of C4. Okay, Maj has gone knight A5. And I'm going to trade and go bishop to F3. I think that looks pretty normal. Bishop C6 from Hippopotamus. And I'm just looking here. I'm just going to play extra safe. I'm going to go bishop to F1. Now let's see what to do here against Dragon. So He can offer me queen trades and stuff. I'm not really sure where my attack is. I suppose his position should be just probably about equal, really. All right, so I'm going to try h5, and cap red 7-8 has gone queen c7. I will go now. Yeah, I'll just go a4. No hurry for f4s. Movement Dutchman, bishop c7, and I'm still keeping an eye on when knight takes c6 becomes some kind of good move here. I'm on the lookout for d5 also, and just sacrifices all over the place around here. But how to do it? Knight takes d7 doesn't feel right. If I go d5, I might have to trade the queens. I don't think I really want to do that. And I'm not sure if I play a3 and b4 if that's taken too long. So I'm looking at knight takes c6, but I don't think it works. He'll have some knight b5 stuff, and so I'm wondering, is he trying to go knight takes? I think I'm just going to go f4 there and see if that's any good. So just some kind of build up. Okay, bishop g7 from Trivial Pursuit. I'll go knight g3. Knight g4 from Kanishka. What's he up to here? Or he or she, or what is my opponent up to? Is e5 becoming some kind of idea here? So if I go, let's say I go h3, is e5 the idea? All right, I'm going to go for that. h3, we'll see what happens. Hippopotamus, I played very safely here. I'm just going to go rook to d1. Indian Taker's castled. Indian Taker's position is not bad. I would have expected that I should have gotten more here than what I got. So let's see what to do. Double rooks, any threats? I think I'm just going to go pawn to b3 and take it easy there. a6 from Alhote, and I'm just going to go b4 and start up on the queen side. g5 from Cap Red, very surprising. Very surprising. Bishop back to g3. Bishop to b6. Haynes retreated his bishop to b6, and now I have to see what am I up to here. I'm looking at things like, I mean, I'm very happy that his bishop is out of it over there. I'm wondering, I have to keep an eye on whether knight f4 ever bothers me. I'm gonna try queen e2 developing, see if I could if I could do something to his b5 pawn there. Okay, queen takes a5 from Maj, and I guess I go queen to, let's see, I'm looking at what to do. I think bishop f3 should be right. And Mystic Knights has gone bishop f4, and I castle. And now bishop g4 for Mickey, and I think I have to go bishop to e2. Is that this is a real mess against Mickey? Let's see, e4, and let's see, he went bishop takes g4, so now is bishop e2 forced? Let's see. I have other moves, but bishop e2 looks like the right move there. Okay, we got moving Dutchman has gone g5, trying to pry me open, and that looks like a decent idea for him. And I'm looking at knight takes d7. I think I'm going to try rook to f1 and see if I can work on the f file there. Okay, g6 against a4 h5. That game's in slow motion. I'm going to try bishop g5 against a4 h5. Knight back to h6 from Kanishka. I'm going to try knight to e5. Knight a6 from Cap Red. I think this position has turned out pretty decently for me. What do I do? I think, do I want to go knight b5 or something and then get c4 in? I think I'm just going to go f4 and try to build. Okay, Hippopotamus. Let's see. I almost just hung my rook by going rook to e5. Queen to e5 seems reasonable. All right, I'm going to bother him again with a queen on queen. I'm up a piece, so why not a queen on queen? Now, Ears has gone knight to a5. I'm looking at pawn to b4. He goes knight c4. I have bishop c5. I'm looking at queen to a4. I think queen to a4 looks like a decent one. Keep a knight off of c4. Bishop f5 from Kanishka, knight f5 from Kanishka, and I guess I'm looking to see bishop b5 ideas. I think I'm just going to go knight f3 there. Okay, c6, a simple move from Hayen, and now is there anything to do with taking on e5? All right, I'm gonna try this takes on e5 and see if I could get something here, some kind of tricks. Queen b6 from Cap. Okay, now what's Cap up to with that move? Let's see. I'm thinking rook e6 might be something nice for me. Although, do I have to look out for stuff like knight to d4? I have squares for my bishop. Bishop to d6. I'm not really sure what that does. Bishop to g6. Maybe to trade those bishops could be a thought. Try and get my queen in there. All right, I'm gonna try bishop to g6. Rook f8 from Trivial Pursuit. Trivial Pursuit seems to be getting ready for some f5 thing. I'm just gonna go. Oh, I'm gonna stick my bishop on g5 first and see what happens with that. Bishop c6 from Maj, and I'm gonna go queen to d2. Rook f d8 from Indian Taker, and now, is he ever threatening d5? I'm wondering in this position. I'm going to see if I can tie him up a little bit and play bishop to b4. Knight g4 from Zebal, and I think Zebal is making me take on b6, so I had to take on b6. I'm going to go king f1 against king h1 against Cap Red. Play it safe. And now I'm really going queen on queen against Hippopotamus all over the place here. So finally, will I ever get the queens off? Bishop to f4. Joel Benjamin and Wilder used to say going queen on queen is sissy chess. But if you're up a piece, well, it's not bad, right? Okay, let's see what happened here with Cap 7. He's gone king to g7. I'm going to take on h5. Let's see. Kanishka's knight has made some trip, right? Knight g4 to f6 to f5 to d6. And then we got to see if that did that do anything. I mean, in the meantime, I'm building up. I'm going to try queen a4. And now let's see what to do against Hayen. I was going to take on b6 and then do some rook to I just want to make sure that if I take on b6, if knight f4 ever happens, is that really going to bother me a lot? That's the big question for me here. So I don't know. I'm going to take on b6, bishop to h3 from Mickey, threatening to mate me, and let's see what. So he's threatening queen to g4. And what's the story here? If I go knight to h2 and then block with a bishop on g4. All right, I'm gonna try knight to h2. Let's see what other moves are there. All right, knight to h2. I'm gonna try it. That's a really messy situation. Now, ears. What to do here? I could go b4 and make his knight go back, but I don't know. I think maybe I just want to go rook fd1 there and take it easy. And what to do against Cap Red? Against Cap Red, I'm going to go on submission. I'm going to try rook to e6. Against Trivial Pursuit, a bishop back to d2. And finally, continuing to chase Hippopotamus's queen around. Bishop to d3. Did I finally force the queens off? Also, there is a pawn on d5 because I already got murdered in one game. I don't want to get mated in one with queen g2. All right, now let's see what's happening here to Hayen. I'm going to go queen to e3 and bother his rook. That's a controversial move from Cap Red, e5. Now, I have to see, do I want to take? Suppose I take on e6 and do bishop c4. That would be the way to play if I was opening it. And there's nothing really wrong with going f5 and just killing his bishop. So I don't know which one is, which one is the safer, actually. I'm going to go f5. I think it feels more simul-ish. just to calm down and take it easy. Okay, bishop to d7 from Kanishka, and is it right for me to take the bishop pair here? Maybe, I don't know. I'm going to try queen to b3 and just probe around a little bit and see if anything will come of that. Okay, Zebal's gone. A takes b6. I'm just going to go h3. I mean, is that a pawn up? All right, now, tricky move here from Camp Red. He went rook f6. And I'm looking, do I have bishop to e5? Bishop to e5, I'm going to give it a tryout. Okay, we got queen to g4 from Hippopotamus, having a lot of fun, chasing his queen all over the place. When will I ever get them off the board? Queen f5, chased his queen one more time. Okay, bishop e7, castling against Ernie does seem right, even though queens are off, castling still seems right. Queen c7, a5 against Marge. Try to put the clamp on the queen side. Knight b3 against a4, h5. Rook g8 from Moving Dutchman. Now, let's see what's going on against Moving Dutchman. I'm thinking of taking on g5. F5 is maybe a move. If I take on g5, what does he take it back with? All right, I'm going to try takes on g5. We got knight f6 from Cap Red. And I'm looking around here to see what's my next thing to do. Bishop to g5 is pretty interesting. Try and build up. Knight takes e5. I took Cap Red's queen, but he has some pieces, so it's not altogether terrible for him. All right, I'm going to go queen c1 to Trivial Pursuit. I want to see where he puts his king. We got bishop f8 from Indian Taker. I want to make sure that Indian Taker doesn't get d5 in. That's going to be, if he got d5 in, he would probably be equalizing. So I want to make sure that there's no d5 coming in. So I'm gonna try rook to d4. Okay, rook f d8 from Ears, and let's see against Ears. If I go b4 against Ears, he has knight c4, so I want to be careful of that. And what do I do? Is the position of trading off all the rooks have any hope? I'm just gonna try knight to g3 and maneuver my knight around. So Ears is playing solidly. Knight takes e5 against Zebile. Knight e8 against Alhote. This is a very it's a very positional position. Okay, so I took Cap Red's queen, but he's got some pieces, and his remaining pieces don't look bad. But hold on, does Queen e2 fork two knights? It's going to be a good question. Force the queens off against Hippopotamus. Thank God. Okay, now against Hayen. When will always keeping an eye on Hayen's knight to f4 stuff. Got to make sure that when that happens, that I'm ready for it, so I don't get mated. All right, knight b3 seems reasonable against Hayen. Anything doing with rook to a8. All right, I'm going to try rook to a8 against Hayen. Tie him down a little bit. Okay, queen check against Dragon. A totally reasonable thing to do. Now, I don't know. I feel like I'm just trying to draw here, so I'm going to go queen to c1. I just didn't get anything out of that opening at all. Got next to nothing out of that opening. Okay, now let's see what to do against Trivial Pursuit here. I forced his king to h7. I wanted that, so if he wants to play for f5 later, maybe his king will be on the diagonal over there. Now, against Trivial Pursuit, is pawn to b4 anything reasonable? I don't know. I'm not sure about that. I think I'm going to go bishop to e3. Made his knight go back to b7. Okay, Moving Dutchman has gone rook takes g5. And now I have to see what's the deal here. I was going to go bishop to h5, bishop to h4, and see how that one works. Does he make sure does he have any knight takes e5 ideas? Okay, so bishop h4 I'm going to try. Ernie is, let's see, Ernie, I'm going to go pawn to b4 and start to work on the a file. Knight takes d4 from Mickey, and now we got to see what's the deal here with Mickey. If I go bishop to g4, what's the story with that? So bishop g4, who knows? And touch this has castled. Okay, I'm going to go rook on A to D1, continue to develop. And now Kanishka has gone E6, and now I'm looking for tricks. And he has to look for, can I go knight takes G6? Okay, Hippopotamus has gone pawn to A5. I would just go pawn to A3. Bishop to D7 from Hayen. And now against Hayen, I'm thinking I like the way this one looks now. I got the C5 square. I have queen C5 ideas sometimes. I think I'm going to try queen to C5 there and keep him from castling. We got Capred has gone H6, and I'm just going to go bishop back to E3. I wanted to provoke some stuff. Let's see. Zebal's gone queen takes E5. And I'm going to go knight c4. Pawn to d5 from Indian taker, and I'm going to trade the bishops. I'm trying to draw against Dragon 18. Should have gotten more out of that opening. Didn't. Okay, rook c8 from Trivial Pursuit. Looks like trying to play for c6. Makes sense. I'm going to go c4. So that when he goes c6, it looks like a King's Indian a little bit. Okay, let's see what's happening. Moving Dutchman. I'm going to go bishop takes g5. Mystic Knights is castled. I think c4. I studied Kudrin games in this opening and did pretty well. I think g3 is something to be said for also. I'm going to try g3 and then maybe c5. Knight f3 check from Cap Red. And now if I take this with the pawn, is knight f4 going to bother me that much? I don't know. I don't think so. Bishop to a4 from Dragon, so he's trying to get in there and flood the queen side, and I'm just going to defend. I'm worse here, so I'm just going to go knight to d2. Bishop takes f1 from Mickey, and now what do I want to take this back with? If I take it with the queen, is everything under control? I'm looking to make sure there's no knight e2 things. All right, queen takes e2, queen takes f1. Hayen has offered a queen trade on e7, and now I'm looking. I think that knight b3 seems reasonable for me, trying to get a knight into c5. Okay, pawn takes, let's see, pawn takes e5 against moving Dutchman. And it looks like Hippopotamus is in serious trouble. I'm just going to go bishop c7 and take more pawns. King takes f8 from Indian taker. And now what's my deal here? Looking at h4. Is his queen overloaded? c6 from Trivial Pursuit. I feel like I better get my queen out of the way. So I'm going to go queen to d2. And the game against Al Hote is a serious maneuvering in this game. Let's see. So I don't want to go. He just went bishop to f6 of my knight move, so he'll have bishop g5 ideas maybe. So I'm going to try knight to a4 and see if we could finally make a decision on the other side. Okay, now Cap Red has doubled his rooks on the f file, and I think I just got to play a little bit of defense here, and then maybe I'm going to win. Queen e5, tie him up a little bit maybe. Just got to make sure this knight by itself doesn't take something and end the game. So queen e5. And now Zebile has gone queen to f6. And I'm just going to go b3 and try and keep all my pawns. Knight to moving Dutchman has gone knight to d7, so he's going to get one pawn, and let's see, and I'm up the exchange. So I don't know. I mean, maybe I could have had better than this, but it doesn't look bad. I'm going to try knight to e4. We have a castling from Hayen, and I'm happy to trade the queens there, and taking pawns against Hippopotamus. And rook to f8 against Mickey. So what's Mickey? Now, Mickey's got 3 pawns for a piece. Not bad. But no pass pawns. My king's a little open, but there's not a little stuff, not that much stuff left. So what's my deal here? I'm wondering about going to C8 and trading rooks. That would take some of the steam out of the position. So all right, I'm going to try to I'm going to go rook to C8 and trade some rooks. H6 against what's going on with A4 H5? This game's in slow motion. Bishop H4. Pawn takes against. I will take with the C pawn against Trivial Pursuit. And now against Hayen, he's got all kinds of problems here. First, do I like knight takes E5 or do I want to go knight to C5? Let me go knight to C5 first and then knight E5 next. And he's got knights all over the face here. Okay, now let's see what against moving Dutchman. I'm thinking about going queen to H4. And that provokes F6, and then what am I doing? I don't know. I mean, and then doubling rooks on the file is not bad either. All right, I think I'm gonna try queen H4. Hold it, queen H4, rook H8. So got to be a little careful. Okay, now can I just take it easy here and play something like B3 or something like that? Rook to D3 maybe. I'm going to try rook to D3. King G6 from Cap Red, and now I'm looking at queen takes D5 ideas. And or do I want to get rook to E1? Okay, I'm going to do queen takes D5. Touch this has gone rook on A to E8, and I'm looking at I'm wondering if he's loading up for F6. That's what I got to watch here. Is F6 going to be some kind of situation for him ever? So if that's the case, do I have to maybe go bishop back to G3 or something? So F6, my bishop on F4 would be hanging. I'm thinking about knight D4 could be a nice move. That would stop him from going F6. All right, knight on B to D4 seems right. Pawn takes pawn. A pawn takes against hippopotamus. Bishop to D1 from dragon, and I'm just going to go bishop to F3. Let's see what happens here. Cap Red has gone knight to B4, and I'm just going to go queen to D2. This is a game where I'm just trying to build up on him. Okay, castle, rook C7 from Hayen. And now, well, I got all kinds of things I got to think about here against Hayen. Maybe snatching the pawn isn't the best thing to do. Maybe could rook D1 possibly be winning a piece? I don't know. He's going to have to play some difficult moves there. I'm going to try rook to D1. Okay, knight C5 from Trivial Pursuit. Checking B4 to see, does he really want to go knight into A4? All right, I'm going to go B4, see where he wants to go. Rook takes F3 from Cap Red. And now Cap Red, I have to be careful what's going on if he takes, let's say he takes my my F2 pawn. Would that be any big danger for me? Now and so I'm going to try rook to E1. If I traded a pair of rooks, I think it would help me a lot. All right, rook to B8 from Aljote, and when do I want to trade, if ever? I'm going to try bishop G5 against bishop H6 against Aljote, F5 from moving Dutchman, and I'm just going to go knight to G3. B5 from Zebal. Where's the best place for my knight now? I'm just going to go knight to E3. Looks okay. Ears has gone knight to B7. And I'm thinking about queen to... I'm going to try queen to C6. Test a little bit. See where he wants to go. Traded bishops against Dragon 18. Rook F8 for Maj. And I think I'm going to go bishop B6 against Maj. See if we got bother the queen a little bit. Against Hippopotamus, do I have any tricky stuff here? I'm going to try pawn to B5 and see if I could get some tricks going. All right, against Aljote, I'm going to trade on C5 finally. Knight F3 check from Mickey. Wow. Okay, so it's a nice deflection. I have to take with the bishop. Bishop takes e3, bishop takes e3 against Mystic Knights. And now against rook takes f2 against Cap Red. And now I got to be careful here. I would like to trade some rooks off. Well, I mean, it's I wonder if I'm going to snatch another pawn here or something. Queen check, and then he goes rook f6. So I don't know if that's doing anything. Trading a pair of knights wouldn't be a bad thing for me either. I'm wondering about queen takes b7. What's the story with queen takes b7? Or I'm going to try queen takes b7. Maybe I'm just taking stuff here. Okay, rook c8 from Hayen. And now what about rook to a7? And it looks like he's got a lot of things hanging here. I think that Hayen's position wasn't bad there, and then somehow it got weird. All right, Zebal is hassling my pawns all over the place here. So I'm going to try queen b1 against Zebal. Rook b3 against Hippopotamus, and I'm going to go bishop c5. King h7 from Cap Red, and I think that I would like to just load up on him. I'm just going to go rook to f3. And rook takes b8 against El Hote seems right. I guess, okay, now Mickey's bothering me here with rook c1. So I'm going to snatch a pawn on d5 with check and first, and then see what happens after that. Okay, Indian taker's gone queen e5, and now I'm looking just rook to d1, and then threatening to take on d5. I think this has turned out okay. All right, we got Cap Red has retreated with his rook. And I'm just looking to see, I want to make sure that I'm always keeping on a lookout on this knight to f4 stuff if it bothers me. All right, I'm going to come out with knight to d2 against Cap Red point. Sharp position. What's going on here against Dragon? He went knight c6. I'm going to bring my king over and guard my c-pawn. Okay, queen to g7 against moving Dutchman. And let's see here. I'm going to go rook to d1 and see if I can keep him tied up a little bit. Knight takes b8 from El Hote, and I'm going to go rook to b1. And then I'm trying to get in on the queen side. Queen b8 from Maj, we expected that. And now what type of thing am I doing here? The first thing is I got to make sure that knight d7 doesn't bother me. So I'm going to go rook on rook on f to d1. I want to make sure that d5 never comes in. Hippopotamus. Bishop takes f8, leaves me up a full rook. Must be nice. Knight takes d4. Now, what do I want to take on d4 back with? I'm going to take back with the knight against touch this. Okay, knight d6 from Ears. And let's see, just making sure that he's not bothering me anywhere. And now, when do I want to start pushing on the queen side? Does pawn to b4 even do anything? I don't know. I think I'm going to double rooks on the d file. Looks like castles, a4, h5. This is a slow motion game. It's transposed into a dragon, a classical dragon with bishop g5. Okay, here comes dragon 18's knight. He's going to try and hassle my c3. I'm going king e2. I get there just in time. All right, now, moving Dutchman has gone pawn to c5, and now I have to see how do I get in here and bother him. I'm going to try pawn to b4. I'm going to try to sack some stuff here, see if I can get in there. Okay, Mickey has gone king to f8, and now I have to look out for this rook c1 and make sure that my king is fairly safe here. So how do I do this? If I go queen to h3 and he goes rook c1, what's going on there? And I'm worried about I'm worried if I trade some rooks, what would happen also. So this rook c1 is the rook c1 idea is a little bit annoying. King g2, queen g5. You know, all right. I think I'm going to try king to g2. And see what happens there. Okay, Dragon has gone knight to b5, and I'm just going to go king to d2. I think my king side looks okay. Now, King takes f8 from Hippopotamus. And I'm going to snatch a pawn on h7. Why not? It's there. Knight to h5 from Cap Red. And I'm going to just play, make sure I don't hang anything. I'm going to go rook to f1. I have other interesting things here. Pawn takes pawn, trade rooks and take on h5 maybe, but I don't want to open up that h file for him. So I'm just going to go rook to f1. Build up. Okay, now what's happening against El Hote? I'm gonna maneuver my other knight over towards the queen side. I'm gonna try to flood the queen side with some pieces. Okay. Now against Ernie. Ernie played a6. Do I want to get rid of my double pawn? What to do against Ernie? Also, I'm thinking about knight e5, but I don't know what to do there. I think I'm going to try rook to a5 against Ernie and see if I can get some work on the b file. All right, moving Dutchman. I'm playing this very sharply here. I'm going for c5. Knight to f4 from Cap Red. And I'm looking around. I'm going to go rook to e3 and just guard that h3 pawn. And now let's see what Trivial Pursuit's up to. I think I take this pawn knight on a4. Ears has offered a trade of queens. And I think I should take it. So I traded queens. And now what's happening here against Hippopotamus? He's bothering a pawn. I think I'm going to try to mate him here. I'm going to just go bishop to g6 and see if I could get my rooks in there and mate him. Uh-oh, knight a5 in-between move from Kanishka. What's this? Did I miss something? His knight on d6 is still hanging. So I'm going to go just queen back to where? Queen back to c2 looks okay. Bishop to d8 from Dragon. And I guess I'm just going to go king to c2. And now what's happening here with moving Dutchman? Queen c7 he did, attacking my pawn. And I'm looking around for stuff here. Rook takes d7 things or not, or does he have queen c5? I'm looking at things like c6. Rook c1 is interesting. I think I'm going to try rook to c1. All right, knight g6 from Touch This. Okay. And let's see what's up here. So bishop takes g6 I don't want to do. So I just go bishop back to g3. That looks good. Now, what's the deal here with Cap Red? How do I crack them open here? I'm thinking about f6. I got to make sure that pawn doesn't get too weak. So I think I'm going to do f6. Queen g5 check from Mickey. And let's see. And I'm going to, I guess I go queen to, do I have to go king? If I go king up to h3, what's the deal there? All right, king up to h3. I got to try it. Now, Trivial Pursuit. Some play here. Rook to c1 maybe or something for me. If he gets his bishop to b5, does that do something? It's put together a pretty solid position. So I'm going to try rook to c1 and see. It's probably about an equal position. Bishop g5 from El Hote. I did not want to allow that, and I did. Bishop takes g5, got to do. All right, now I've pinned Hippopotamus as king. Let me see if I can get on the scoreboard here. I'm going to go rook to a1. Rook to d8 from Cap Red. And now what's happening here? I'm going to just go knight e4. I think that I'm okay here. Pawn takes pawn from Mystic Knights, and I'm going to play pawn takes pawn. Let's see. Ears has taken back. I'm going to double rooks. And El Hote has done okay trading those bishops positionally correct. All right, I'm just going to go knight f3. I don't think I'm better in that game anymore either. Let's see what to do here against Trivial Pursuit. If I trade off all the rooks, would that be okay? I think I'm going to go a3 first. Knight d7 against Maj. And I'm going to play bishop back to where? I'm going to go bishop back to f2. And now what happened here with Cap Red? Cap Red gave me 2 pieces for the rook. I should be happy about this. And now with dragon, is bishop d2 just okay for me? Queen h5 check against Mickey, and I'm going to go king back to g3, and Hippopotamus has gone b5, and now does the extremely fancy rook to a8 made him on e8. Queen c3 from Zebile. Zebile's queen is trying to bother me in there. I mean, I'm up a pawn here, but he's managed to wrap me up a little bit here. So let's see what to do. I mean, I feel like I'm up a pawn here. Is a4 any good? What kind of pawn would that be on a4? I don't know. I'm just going to try a3 and see if I could come out slowly there. Rook check from Cap Red, and I'm going king to h2. Bishop to c3 from Moving Dutchman. And let's see what's happening here. And he's got some tricks. I'm looking at I'm looking at c6 all the time. Should I move my king? I'm going to try to move. I'm going to go king h1. This game's gotten a little messier than it should, I think, but I think it's probably not bad for me. Okay, and in Hippopotamus, I'm on the board with rook takes e8 mate. So Hippopotamus just fell for a pin there and lost a piece. That's that's pretty much what happened to him here. I think his position was okay. Mystic Knights, I'm going to trade knights on e5. And now against Kanishka, I'm just going to back up my knight and then hit the h7 pawn. That looks like a good position. f6 from Indian Taker. And now what's the counting here? I feel like I should just take on d5, right? Okay, Queen d8 from Al-Hote. Al-Hote's now the big deal for Al-Hote is when does he try to do f5 is going to be the question. f5 will be the big question here. So I'm going to try queen to b3. I think Al-Hote's bishop g5 gave him a good position. Trivial Pursuit. I thought I had more from this position. Now I'm going to go knight to e1 and see if I can get that knight somewhere into the game. Queen to d7 from Touch This. And I'm going to go, I think I'm just going to go h5. Okay, queen takes e5 from Mystic Knights. And I'm going to go, I think I'm just going to go c3. Looks okay. Rook to e6 from Cap Red. And now, what's going on here? I mean, I thought this one was going to be easier than it was, and it's not easy at all. Should I start hassling him on the back rank? And then the board changed. Let's see. Ask him, what's the meaning of life? I have no idea. I'm just trying to drink some beer and have a good time. So, all right, now let's see what to do against Kanishka. I'm wondering if any sacrifices are called for here. Bishop h7 check. What about it? Bishop h7 check. He must go king to f8. Is that a good thing for me? All right, I'm going to try bishop check. All right, now the cap 8 game. All right, so I'm going to try. I think all my stuff is guarded, I hope. And I'm going to try queen to c8 and see if I can come from the back. And see if some checks bother him, get some coordination here. Okay, what's happening here with ears? I'm thinking of trying to go bishop to e2 to unravel, to protect my position a little bit and see if I could just use this bishop pair. Okay, knight check from Cap Red, and I go king to h2. Queen g5 check from Mickey, and I'll go king back to h3. And let's see what's happening here. Moving Dutchman went rook to f8. And I'm looking at all kinds of stuff here. c6 I'm thinking about. And some kind of sacrifices and whatnot. So who knows? a3 is kind of, I don't know if a3 does anything. So all right, I'm going to try c6. Okay, bishop e6 from Zebile. And Zebal's queen's really bothering me in there, so I'm gonna go King H1 against Zebal, and then maybe start off with some F4 thing at some point. Okay, Bishop F7 from Indian Taker, and this pawn on D6 looks like a nice place for a pawn, doesn't it? So I'm gonna put my pawn on D6 and see if that bothers him. Got to go Rook E1 against Mystic Knights. No thinking required there. When to do something against Maj? Like, does B4 do anything? He's bothering me a little bit here. I'm thinking about B4. I'm thinking about Bishop to D4. The big question is when do I ever go F5? That's what I'm wondering. When do I go F5? So do I want to go? I'm going to try Bishop to D4 here. I'm not sure. There, I feel like my position's nice, but not loading up right. Okay, now, what do I want to do here against Cap? Take back with the rook or take back with the bishop? Let's take back with the rook. I feel like my pieces will be all over him here. Okay, Cap Red has gone knight to D2 check. And, okay, rook D2 check. I have to take it. Rook takes C1 against Trivial Pursuit. F5 from Alhote. And I'm going to try knight to B6. Queen E4 from Mystic Knights. Did not think of that one. Could be in trouble here, too, because of the F3 square. Not too sharp today. So a couple of games really not paying attention. What's happening here with touch this? I'm going to go bishop back to B1, try and make a battery later. Rook takes A3 from Cap Red point, and I'm going to try... I'm just going to try knight to C4. Okay, what's happening here with King F8 from Kanishka? Are there any piece sacks here? I think I'm just going to go knight takes C4 and play normal. Okay, now, the job here against Cap Red is for me to take my time and get all my pieces towards his position. Bishop G4 looks like that should help. Okay, now, against Moving Dutchman, I'm going to sacrifice on C3. And Rook takes F1 against Mystic Knights. And then he's going to get some knight to F3 thing going here. And I'm afraid that what can I do here? I'm going to try, I think I got to try King takes F1. Trivial Pursuit is trading off all the rooks with a pretty easy position. Okay, Rook C2 from Mickey. And let's see what's going on here. He's after some pawns. And now let's see if I do some knight F3s or I'm looking to see if I can get my queen into his position. I don't see how to do that. So if I go knight F3, he has some checks. All right, I'm going to try knight F3. Let's see, Zebal has gone rook to A7, and I'm going to try F4. So I'm going to see if I could make an attack over there since his pieces are out. Okay, so Alhote has gone knight to F6, so he's bothering me on the E4 square, and I'm just going to go knight D2 and try and defend it. But do I have to be a little careful here? What's the situation? Okay, I'm going to go knight to D2. Let me go very slowly here against Cap Red. I'm going to go bishop F5 check. Let's see. We have Indian Taker is blocking my pawn. And who knows, maybe after he blocks it, he might try to take it with rook to D8. So I got to see what's a good move for me here. I'm looking at maybe bishop to C4. King and pawn endings probably should be good. Let's see, bishop C4 I'm going to do. And rook E2 check from Cap Red. And I'm going to go king to G1. I feel like that's nice for me. Okay, now, what do I take back with on touch this? Rook or pawn on D4? Rook or pawn is a good question. I'm going to take back with the pawn. Okay, knight takes E4 against Alhote. Bishop D8 from Ernie, and I'll go back to A3. And now I'm going to try and maneuver my knight around against Cap Red, get this knight to H5. And then just see what's happening. G5 from Dragon. So I have en passant, and then I take h6, but then he takes c3. And what a mess that is. So I feel like I should just maybe go g4 here. Okay, now let's see what's happening with moving Dutchman. Queen takes a6 with check. Must be the right thing to do. Ears is trading off all the rooks. Queen takes c1 from Trivial Pursuit. All the rooks were taken there. And then I'm going king to f1. I don't see how Cap Red's rook and knight can coordinate enough to bother me. Okay, now let's see what's happened here against moving Dutchman. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've had Grolsch beer with that weird bottle. I like Grolsch beer. The Dutch beers are good. I remember I played in Groningen. There was some nice beers. That Arranger Boom, or however you say it, was good. Okay, now let's see what to do here against moving Dutchman. Rook takes c3. Queen a7, queen d6 stuff, queen a7. I don't know. Get his king walking. All right, I'm gonna try queen to a7 check. See what's happening. Okay, king h5. Cap Red's king's trying to join the party. Wow. Okay, so if if his king joins the party, what's the deal there? All right, I'm thinking of doing knight takes. So there's lots of stuff here. I'm thinking of trying to make a queen with my e pawn, with my a pawn. All right, I'm going to see if Cap Red wants to get his king in there. I'm going to go a4 and maybe get that guy going. All right, now, against Mystic Knights, he went rook ae8. And very annoying. This knight on e5 is going to bother me. And he's got these queen checks all over the place. So overlooking that was not good. And knight e5 is a little bit bothersome. f4. Man, I mean, f4 looks a little strange. Can it really be a good move, f4? It keeps his knight out. Maybe he goes, all right, I don't know. I'm going to try f4. I'm desperate here with this. Queen h5 check from Mickey. And I have to go king g3. And let's see what's happening with Zebal. Zebal has gone queen to c5. Okay, I'm just going to go queen c1, defend all my stuff. Maybe get my queen over there. Knight e8 from Trivial Pursuit. And I'm just going to go queen to c2 and try and stop f5. Knight takes f5 from Aljote. And I think that I think I should take this guy on c8. And now let's see what's happening here. I'm trying to stick pieces all over Cap Red's face. Knight to g3. Trade rooks against ears. And here comes Cap's king. Now, where exactly is Cap's king going, though? I'm thinking about knight takes, but yeah, I think I'm going to go knight takes b6 and try and make another queen. Since I can't mate him, making another queen seems like the right thing to do. Okay, now what's happening here with Cap? I'm gonna try and get my queen into his position also. Let's see now, king g7 from Dragon, and I will go knight to g1. Let's see now what to do against ears. Light square stuff. Maybe I should get my. I'm going to see if I can get my king in there. I'm going to go king f1 and try to make some trip. Nice okay, in between move, knight d4 from Aljote. In between move. So I'm looking to see if I could go queen to b6. Queen trade from Trivial Pursuit. Okay, I think I got to do it. H5 from Cap Red. Wow. Okay. Now, what's he trying to do with this? He's guarding some squares. So, should I just keep on pushing my pawn? I'm just going to keep pushing my a pawn. Zebal has gone f6. I'm going to play, looking to see how to make an attack here. I'm going to try b4 against Zebal. Queen check against Mickey, and I'm going to play king to h3, but then Mickey's got some moves. All right, let's try It's a question of when will he get e4 in is going to be the thing. All right, now moving Dutchman, king c8. I'm looking at rook takes c3. I'm looking at, I don't know what to do here. I can't figure out how to get in there. I'm thinking of maybe just making a draw with queen a6. Let me try queen a6. And then and now let's see what's happening here with Trivial Pursuit. King to f2. Let's do bishop takes f7 against Indian taker. King g3 against king to g3 from cap red. Okay, now, do I have to be careful yet? Cap red, do I have to be careful? Looking at queen. Okay, looking for checks. Looking at queen f5. Let's give it a try. Knight, let's see. Queen f7 from cap red. And now, how do I get some pieces in here? Opening up the H file somehow seems to be the right thing, but that's going to take a while. So I'm going to go bishop back to g4 and try and stick a knight on h5, see how that goes. Queen h5 from Al Hote. Threatening to take on f2, obviously. And if I just go f3, what's the story there? He gets some knight checks. Rook to f, and he's threatening my bishop too. So I don't know. I'm going to try knight takes d6 and see if anything comes of that. Okay, now let's see what's happening. Moving Dutchman. I think I don't know. I don't see how to get other stuff in, so I'm going to go queen check again. Rook check from cap red, and has cap red. Oh man, I just really walked into it against cap red. Is that ridiculous or what? I just lost my queen, and that's terrible what I did there. That is, the queen f5 is the worst move ever played. So that's it for that. That was just really disgusting. Okay, so knight to h5 from Trivial Pursuit, and I'll go knight to f1. So not really messing up some positions today. Unbelievable. Okay, king to h1. Not the best simul ever. Playing a bit like an idiot today. All right, what's happening here with Indian taker? If I gave him that pawn and got into the queen ending, that might not be bad. So I'm just going to go g3, give some air. Rook e d8 from Maj, and I'm going to try rook to e1. Rook takes pawn from Mickey. And now it would be nice if my pieces got some coordination. I don't see how. I really don't see how pieces could get any coordination here. I'm going to try queen to d3. Let's see with Zebal, queen to c3, and I'm going to go f5. King to d1 from moving Dutchman. Well, I mean, I don't think he could try to win. I mean, really, I should be the one trying to win, but I don't see anything clear. So queen check. b5 from cap red. Cap red's gone b5, and I probably want to. I probably want to keep things locked. So I'm going to try a5. f5 from Trivial Pursuit, and I'm going to go bishop to b6. Let's see what's happening here. Ernie has gone rook c8. Simon's been going for a couple hours already, so are really rolling here. I'm going to try b5 against Ernie. Is that what I want to do? No? Probably something. Let me try knight to e5 against Ernie. Okay, here comes against Al Hote. He's gone knight check. Now, how am I mating myself here? I've mated myself in the other games, so maybe here will happen also. So I'm going to try queen to c7. Ears has gone knight to d6. And what is Ears up to here? Is f5 ever going to bother me? That's a good question. So against Ears, I think I'm going to go f3 and then, but f5 may bother me. So I'm going to go bishop to d3. Very indecisive today. Playing some really bad chess, actually. Really, really bad chess. Okay. Knight to D1 against Zebile. Queen check. Move in Dutchman. I think I'm going to take the draw. I don't see anything clear here. So, I mean, I felt like our games are all similar. I thought maybe I had something nice there. Okay, now let's see what to do here against Trivial Pursuit. Will he get some pressure on my E pawn? Is a good question. So I'm going to go knight to D2. G6 from touch this. Wow. All right, now I got to be happy about this situation. I'm thinking about trying to provoke some business with like Queen D2, or perhaps Bishop F4. But Queen D2 looks okay. Let's see. Now I'm doing F4. Do I do F4 against A4, H5? Knight G3 check against Aljote, and I will go King to H2. Not much choice there. Rook takes F2 from Mickey, and what's the deal here? Am I almost done? Or do I have some chances for perpetual? I don't know. He's got a lot of pawns there, that's for sure. Okay, what's happening here against Maj? Against Maj, this has gotten into some heavy maneuvering too. I'm looking to see when, if ever, should I go F5? And what if he takes it? So, all right, I'm going to try Rook to F1. Serious maneuvering here. Against Cap Red. Let's see what to do here. Sticking pieces on his face. Bishop G. Should I go Bishop to G E6? Let me try it. Zebile's gone Queen to D4, and now he just wants to harass my A pawn. But I have it protected for the moment. So let me go Knight to F2. Bishop F6 from Trivial Pursuit. And I'm going to go Knight to C2. And let's see what's happening against Indian Taker. Now, there's some pawns going. All right, I'm going to go Rook takes Rook, Rook takes Rook. I mean, it's going to be a queen ending. Let's see what this is. Knight F. Now, do I want to go Knight F5 against Cap Red? I think so. Queen F5 check from Mickey. And I will attack his Rook, I guess, with King to F2. And let's see what's going on here against touch this. I'm looking at Bishop F4 to provoke some stuff. Bishop to H4 doesn't look bad either. I'm going to do Bishop H4. Knight to E5 against Mystic Knights. And I'm going to go Bishop back to Bishop to G1. All right, F6 from Dragon. And now, so he's cracked me open. But maybe later I can crack him open. All right, I'm going to take on F6. That game feels like a game where we've been keeping the balance in kind of a decent shape. Okay, let me see here against Trivial Pursuit, Knight E3 type of stuff. Knight C3 maybe. Yeah, I think, well, hold on, Knight C3, Bishop D3. What's that about? Okay, Knight E3 looks reasonable. Bishop F6 against touch this looks good. And King F8 from ears, and I'm going to come up with my king to E2. Bishop takes E5 against Ernie, seems right. Knight E2 against Dragon, seems right. Let's see what to do here now against Cap Red. I have things like, I got all kinds of weird things here. I could try to win on the queen side, too. I'm going to try to win on the queen side. I'm going to go pawn to B4 and hit Cap Red on the other side and try and make a pass pawn. Okay, now, what's happening here with touch this? Bishop opposite color position. I don't need to take anybody yet. A rook lift might help me a lot if I manage to do it here. So do I want to go G4? All right, so I'm going to play G4 and then try and get my rook involved. Queen takes B7 against Indian Taker, must be right. Okay, now Mickey has gone Rook to C2. And now I'm just looking for checks. I'm going to go Queen to B4 check and just see if I can make some checks. Okay, now against touch this, I'm just going to go king to g2 and try and get a rook to g1. Mystic Knights has maybe done me a favor here by trading queens on f3. I'm really grateful for that because what can I do? You know, I mean, and I'll take on d1 and maybe I'm trying to live. Okay, now what's happening here with Mickey? Uh-oh. Now, Mickey, I have a lot of I have checks, but I'm not really sure what they're doing. Bishop to e4. He goes queen. He has a lot of checks. Probably mates me on g2 or something. Let's see. But if I go, hold on. If I go bishop e4 and he goes queen f4 and I go king there, how does he get his queen to g2 is a good question. So, is bishop to e4 a decent thing to do? All right, I'm going to try it. Let's see what Zebal does. Zebal is doubling his rook on the A file. I'm going to go pawn to c3. And now against Cap Red, I feel like this pass A pawn could really help me. Bishop to d3 from Trivial Pursuit. And let's see, and I'm just going to go knight to c4. I think it's under control there. Rook h1 from touch against touch this. I feel like that one's under control. Now, what's the story here with Mystic Knights? King f2. How's this rook ending for me? King f2 looks okay. Just keep his rook out of my face. Seems like the right thing to do. All right, now, against Zebile. Wondering, do I go on the king's side here? Or is there some way for me to protect pawns? I'm thinking about just going g4 and going. Okay, let's see. Cap Red has gone knight c7. So my bishop is trapped, but I'm just going to go bishop to b6. Queen f4 check from Mickey, and I'm going to go king to h3. And now against touch this, pawn takes g6 looks pretty nice. Knight takes e6, pawn takes e6 against Cap Red, okay? And now what do I want to take? I have to take back with the pawn on e4 against Trivial Pursuit. And, okay, now the queen ending against Indian Taker, how easy a win is it is a good question. I'm going to trade some rooks. So I have to make a pass pawn, and I have to keep my king safe at the same time. And, okay, now, against Dragon, knight to g3 seems right, yes? Let's see, knight to g3, and then he takes, all right, knight to g3, and getting into a little bit of time pressure here. Simon's been going for about 2 hours, getting into a little bit of time pressure. King e8 from Ears. Ears' king has come to the queen's side. I'm going to try to get my knight from g3 to somewhere where it actually does something. Okay, knight takes e4 from El Hote, and I guess I just go knight takes e4, right? And now, what's the best way to do this against touch this? Rook takes h6. Looks good. Maj has gone d5, and I feel like I should take that. And now, let me see what to do here against Indian Taker. I'm going to go queen check on e4 first, see what he does. Now, against Ernie, I think I'm going to try and get my knight to c5 and then go b5, and that looks okay. Queen takes h6 from touch this. And really bad time pressure against a4, h5. Guess I go bishop to f3. And he's getting into time pressure also. So, some pretty good games here. I did some hideous blunders. And I usually try to do that. Mystic Knights has offered me a draw. If he wants a draw, I shall take it. I mean, I was barely surviving there. I'm going to go rook takes g1, and he took the draw. I don't know, Mystic Knights. I feel like you might have had something there. But thank you very much for playing, and hope to see you again. Okay, pawn takes against Maj. And now against Maj, do I want to go f5? And when is knight e4 going to do anything for him is a question. Knight e4. So bishop. I'm looking at all kinds of things here. Bishop to g4 maybe. All right, I'm going to try bishop to g4 and see what if it bother his rooks. Okay, f5 from Indian taker, and now I can. I'm looking at funny stuff like h5 check, and king and pawn endings are pretty interesting here. Queen to c2 seems like a reasonable thing to go slow, so I'll go queen c2. Touch this has gone rook f8. Queen takes g6. Looks nice. Let's see. Mickey, at least I've distracted Mickey a little bit here. And now I want to see. I got to check him a lot, and I don't exactly know how to check him a lot here. Let's see what to do. I'll just check him on b5 first. See if anything good comes of that. Bishop to e6. And now in the a4, h5 game, the question is, when do I go knight to d5? Can I do it now? I think now should be the right moment for it. Knight to d5. Okay, bishop to it must be right for me to go bishop e3 against Trivial Pursuit. And now it looks like lots of things are hanging in the cat-red game. Queen takes d6 looks good. And now, and rook to h1 against touch this. Okay, now I'm getting some nice checks here against Mickey. It's the first time I feel like I might survive. I don't know. So if I check him on d5 and he blocks, and I check him on g8, but is he walking his king to let's see. He might be walking his king somewhere good here. So let's see. Check on d5 blocks. If his king gets to d8, it feels like it's good for him, doesn't it? So that's an interesting situation. So I would like to prevent that, and he's got a million pawns here. So what's a nice way to do this? Trying for perpetual checks. Let's see, queen d5. And maybe he's walking out. So where do I want to check him here? If I'm trying to set up a perpetual is a good thing. I don't know. Looking at queen to b4 or something like that. Knight takes e5 doesn't seem right. And it's really hard to do something when your king's wide open, that's for sure. Snatching and going queen d3 and snatching a pawn, although he'll block with rook d7, I think. So let's see, check, and then lots of checks. I don't know. I mean, it's if I think I'm going to give queen b4 a try. Okay, Zebile has gone rook to a4, and I'm thinking I got to just go in after him here. So I'm thinking about g5. Let's see what g4 from cap red. And I'm thinking, okay, I would like to try and keep it locked, so I'm going to go h4. Rook takes f6 from touch this, and now can I end the game with rook h7, rook h8, and queen h7 mate? Okay, queen c3 check from Indian taker, and I'm gonna see. I have to push my pawns carefully here. I'm gonna go queen c3. Now, bishop to d3 from Trivial Pursuit. And I'm going to try, I'm looking at bishop to b6s and stuff like that. And if he goes check, block, all right, I'm going to try bishop to b6. And knight to f8 from ears, and I'm going to go knight to d2. G3 check from cap red, and I think I can go knight takes g3, but I'm not completely trusting the judgment the way I played some of these games today. Bishop to d7 from Maj, and let's see what to do here. And is he going to get this knight e4 stuff in ever? All right, I'm gonna try pawn to f5 against Maj. See if I can get some attack going. All right, Mickey's coming up with g5. So this is it. Something. If I don't have anything here, that's gonna be it. Let's see. Let's see where are some any checks. Check on. Well, all right. Check on d6. Bishop d3 from Ernie. And now the pawn structure. What's the deal? All right, I'm going to take on f5, break his pawn structure. Pawn. Queen takes e5. I can never resist taking a pawn with check. Have to go g3 against ears. Keep that knight off of f4. Bishop back to e3 against Trivial Pursuit. Pawn takes d5 against h4, h5. All right, now Cap Red wants to trade queens. Well, I mean, I that has to be a good thing for me, doesn't it? I'm going to trade queens with all these connected passed pawns. Knight takes knight against Maj, and pass pawns against Cap Red. Pawn takes f5. So I didn't mate him, but I seem to have won some stuff. Okay, Dragon has gone e5. And now I should like to see what to do. I'm going to go pawn takes e5, and I'm going to go bishop b6. It seems like me and Trivial Pursuit are repeating a little bit, so another draw might be possible. All right, I'm going to go queen c4 check against Indian Taker. I think we've had that position before. And let me get my people going here against Cap Red, f6 check. Pawn to c3, playing it safe against Maj, anchor the bishop. All right, now what to do here against Dragon? Want to go bishop to e3. And now against Indian Taker, how do I push my pawns now? I can go king to g2. My king is safe. My queen's guarded in the diagonal. Is pawn to b4 the right move? Pawn to b4. Okay, now Mickey has gone king to c8. Any hopes here for perpetuals? Okay, I'm going to go, well, let's see. I mean, the thing is, there's checks all over the place. I'm looking at knight takes e5, but then he's taking stuff with check. Bishop to f5s. It's probably pretty done here. All right, I'm going to try queen to e6. Knight to a5 from a4 h5, and I take on a5 must be right. And here come my pawns against Cap Red, so it seems like I haven't won a lot of games here, so getting on the board is a nice thing to do when it happens. Okay, now let's see what's happening here against Ernie. Against Ernie, I'm going to go rook e1 and make sure there's no open files. Knight c4 against ears. Let's push pawns against Cap. Bishop to d4 check against Dragon. What's happening here? Am I getting the better of this now? Bishop to d4 check. Trade some rooks against Ernie. And rook takes g3 from Cap Red, and I want to make sure that there's well, there can't be any stalemates. He has too many pawns. Queen d8, queen e6 check from Mickey. Mickey, I'm going to go for queen g8 check now. Queen takes g5 from against Zebile. And what to do here against Ernie? Rook to. Let's just get some rook to a5 and see if we can tie him down. Aha! King to f4 from Dragon. Now, what's going on here? Knight to f5 stuff. Don't know. Didn't really think of king f4 for some reason. Should have, I mean, it's a pretty obvious move. So let's see what's doing here. Something with me taking h6 seems like it's got to be the right thing. So I'm going to go knight f5. And now Let's see here if I can finish this off against Cap. Let's see. He sees a mate in 1. Queen takes h6. Is mate in 1, so that's pretty good. All right, now Zebile has gone h6, and I'm trying to bother him on that pawn. So I guess let's keep his queen out of e3 and go queen g3. Traded knights against ears. Pawn to c3 against a4 h5. Is that going to be good? Let's see. Pawn to c3, or does he have some ideas here? All right, I'm gonna go pawn to c3. That looks okay. Now Mickey has given me a small chance here because now I'm chasing his king all over the place. I actually have some kind of chance here. So what's the right way to do this? Queen h7. It's not that pawns are going to help me here so much, that's for sure. Pawns are not going to help me. So if I go queen to d5, his king maybe comes up and starts hiding on c5 also is another thing. All right, I'm going to try queen takes, let's see, queen to where? All right, queen takes h7. I don't really see what to do here against Mickey, so I'm going to take a pawn. And like I said, I don't think that's really going to help at all. Okay, bishop to d6 against Maj. And I'm going to try against Maj. I'm going to try queen to g5. Try the brutal approach here. See if something good happens. Okay, against Dragon, I'm taking on h6. And Ears is playing really solid chess here. Not bad at all. Bishop f8 against Ears. I'm going to go b4. Okay, g6 from Indian Taker, and I'm going to go, I don't want to go a4 and lose my pawn, so I will go king to g2. All right, now, let's see what Zebal's up to here. He never got, I've distracted, at least playing like an idiot on one side has helped me here. I think I get, do I want to go, let's go knight g4 and get that knight over there. All right, Mickey has gone... Mickey, I'm going queen g6 check. And against Dragon, I'm going knight back to f5. Knight to, pawn to g5, b5 against Ernie. I feel like I'm getting something there. And now the question here is against Ears. What's the story? So the game that I really liked in this position was a game Podevsky against Balashov, which is a nice game to look at. And Balashov played really, really well. All right, now against Zebile, how to try to mate him here. If I go f6, what's the story? Is that opening it or locking it? Is a good question. e5 might be a good move. Although, why should I let his bishop? If his bishop got to d5, I'm not sure that that's helping me. Let me go rook to g1. Rook to g1 feels right. b5 from a4, h5, and I'll go a3 and just stop some stuff. Try and get a rook to e1. a4, h5 is getting into pretty bad time pressure here. I've learned this. I studied this opening years ago and was going to play. Karpov used to play this way against the Dragon. If you look up games from a long time ago, Karpov has done this kind of stuff and done pretty well with it. Okay, let's see what's happening with Zebile. Zebile is covering up, and he's covered up with Queen f8. Makes some sense. Let me see how can I go in after him here. I'm thinking about f6, but then if I go f6, does he go g5, and what's the story there? So it's an interesting situation to try and get in there after him. H4, if he goes rook takes e6. Well, I mean, I didn't want to let his bishop into d5 was the thing. So that's why I don't want to play e5. I think he might have offered a draw, but you know, but it's an interesting game anyway. All right, I'm going to try pawn to d4, and I'm not sure about this. Maybe trying to make a wall. Okay, here we go with Mickey. Mickey has gone King takes, I don't know. I'm going to try knight takes g5, see if I can get my knight in there. H6 from Indian taker, and I'm just going to go with pawn to a4 and see if I can make a pass pawn. Ernie, what happened here? Ernie, rook back. Did Ernie get back rank mated with rook a8? So what happened? What happened to poor Ernie there? Ernie's position seemed very reasonable, and then the next thing you know, the game's kaput. Okay, rook takes a3 from Zebile, and how do I want to do this with all of you? Do I want my other rook in there, or is it good to trade rooks? Good question here. I think I'm going to go rook f1 and keep some more rooks on. I'm not sure how I'm breaking through here, but it seems like having more rooks on should help. E5 would help me, but bishop d5 I'm afraid of. So let's see if I could crack Zebal here somehow. Simo's been going for a little more than 2 hours. Okay, we got queen to c4 from a4 h5. I just go queen to d2 and defend my pawn. Does that seem reasonable? Or does he have some tricks? I think that this bishop to g3 isn't bad. I'm going to go bishop to g3 and defend my f pawn. Okay, now we got Mickey. Mickey's king is running all over the place. I'm after him with my pieces. I don't know what the heck's going on here. So he maybe gets rook c3 in at some point, but I've taken so many pawns that I have a little bit of hope here. All right, I'm going to try, let's see, bishop to d3 check. What does that do? Knight, let's see, knight e6, he has rook c3, so that's not going to help me. Queen, all right, let's try this, queen to e8 check. Rook c5 from a4 h5. And now I was going to go bishop to f2 and bother his rook. And he's really getting himself into some time pressure. Okay, king up from dragon, and I go knight e3 check and take d5. And I feel like I'm getting some chances here to maybe make a draw. All right, now the big question with ears is, what's the king and pawn ending like? If I go bishop takes e6. Takes, or bishop ending either. All right, I'm going to try bishop takes e6 and see what this king and pawn ending stuff looks like. Okay, knight takes d5 from dragon. Okay, now let's see. So we've got a4 h5 going backwards a little bit, and bishop e2, but then he has queen takes there, and I can take on b5, but I think that releases the tension. I think I just want to go queen d2, maybe try to double rooks later. Okay, pawn to b5 against Indian taker. Okay, now we have dragon has gone, knight takes f2, and I'm looking to see if I have time for knight to e3 and takes his... And I'm going to try knight to e3 and see if I can take that c-pawn and see if I can run him out of stuff. Okay, we got really nice stuff here. Mickey has gone king to b4, and his king's all over the place. But it's looking good for him. Where are my checks now? He's getting rook c3 is going to be a little annoying, I think. So what to do? What to do here? Somehow blocking with checks. If I go, if I go queen check, I think that probably I should resign here. Okay, I didn't see. So interesting game from Mickey. Let's see what the king and pawn ending is against ears, or bishop ending could happen as well. All right, now what's going on here against a4 h5? I'm just going to go rook to d1, b5. I'm trying to make a pass pawn against Indian taker. Do I want to make a pass a pawn, or what's this, or a passed? What do I make? I'm going to try to make a passed a pawn. Okay, now let's see what's happened here. Knight e4, knight takes c4 against dragon, and I think it's going to be a draw. Rook to b7 from a4, h5, and now I got to see what is he up to here. He wants to do pawn up, and I got to see. All right, so I'm going to go bishop to d4. Zebile is coming up with some tricks. Rook on a to a4, threatening rook takes b4. So let's see. How do I get through on him here? How to get through? If I go G, let's see. If I go F6, he locks it with G6, I think. So do I want to go Rook F3 and defend? All right, I'll go Rook F3 and defend. Pawn takes pawn against A4 H5. Pawn takes pawn again, and now I'm looking to see, can I do bishop to E2? Or I could just keep everybody there and try and double rooks. I think I'm just going to go H3 and then just make my king safe and then try to do something. The thing with increment is you're in time pressure all the time. .420 ICC time. Simel's been going for about an hour and 15 minutes. Played some really bad games. Winning positions down the drain. And let's see, are there any other games while we're sitting here? Okay, now what happened here? Knight takes e4. I don't know. Alhote resigned. I guess on queen f4 check, I have knight e4, but Alhote, that was a tough game, but he was doing a decent job there. Be careful with those locked positions, because the locked positions, I just don't know what the story with those things are. I mean, that's the question. All right, let's see. I'm really thinking of getting greedy here against a4 h5, and I feel like I'm trying to mate him and play positionally at the same time with this move f5. Okay, queen e6 from Indian Taker, and now I have to be careful. He wants to start checking. I'm going to go queen to b7 and cover that diagonal and see what the story is there. All right, now we have against Zebile. Zebile has gone rook to a1. Looks like a good move. Now, where do I want my rooks here? I'm going to trade rooks against Zebile. Although I wish I had my rook on g1. All right, I'm going to trade rooks and then go king h2. All right, now what's happening here with against Dragon 18? Feels like I got a lot of ways to make it. It's just a draw here. Knight d2 might be a draw. I think I'm going to go bishop. Do I want to go bishop to e5 and trade him? I could bring my king closer also. And check from Zebile, and I'll go king h2. Let's see what the king and pawn ending is here against Ears. We're going for it. Ears you played a good game there, Ears. Very good game. Okay, pawn takes c3 against a4 h5. Seems like the right recapture. F4 from Indian Taker. He has to try to open up the king. It's the only thing that makes sense. Okay, now how do I do that? Now I obviously do not want this king to be open, so I'm going to try to check my queen closer. It's not an easy win by any means here. Let's see what's happening against a4. A4 h5 is trying to get his knight to e5. I'm going to capture on g6 first and try to keep him from doing that. Trying to trade. Let me offer a trade of rooks against Zebile. I think I'm okay. Now, I think it's probably Ears should just be a draw here. king to c4, and I think if Ears wants a draw, it's a draw. My king's not going to be able to get in there, so I'm just going to go king c4. Looks like a draw. Okay, now against a4, h5. What's the deal here? Rook to e6, maybe? Rook to e6. And then if he goes knight f8, well, I don't know. So queen to g5, and then knight to f8. All right, I'm going to go queen to g5. Knight check from Dragon on f2. And I'm just going to go, I have to be a little careful about this. I'm just going to go bishop takes. King c6, and good solid game from Ears. Good draw there, very good. And now against Dragon, knight to e3. Block that pawn. Now, queen to c2 against Indian taker. I'm just checking. I'm not sure what I'm accomplishing with these checks. So I'll see everybody in April. I think I'm not sure. The World Championship match seems to start in November, I guess, from what I heard. Okay, what's happening here with Dragon? Looks like knight g4 check must be the right thing to do. He goes knight there. I'm going to go. I guess I'm going to try knight to h6. Just keep that pawn away, and then he'll try and bother my knight, and I'll try to bother him a little bit with the c pawn. Okay, king f5, and what's the deal here? And I should go c4, sorry. Queen check from Indian taker, and I'm going to go check on c3 again. I don't know. Might be a draw. Did a4 h5 blunder? Queen takes g6. In between move. Rook's hanging. Okay, bishop c5 from Dragon, and I just bring my king back. And I take Dragon's h4 h5's rook. We got the Dragon has gone knight to. I don't think he's trapping my knight, so I'll just go knight to f7. Okay, now, man, I don't know what to do here against this Indian taker to try and win this game. Okay, I'm gonna get my queen closer, but then when my queen, maybe I should have made a b pawn and then try to trade queens on c6. That might have been a more sensible thing to do. All right, I don't know. I'm going to go pawn takes pawn against Indian taker. It might be a draw. Okay, now what's happening here? Dragon, I think I'm just going to put my king on near his. I'm going to go king to f1. And let's see, I should take another pawn against... No, not taking another pawn against a4, h5, bishop e4 check. And now we have Zebile has gone queen to a8. So now I'm looking to see f3 again. Does it do anything? Bishop, it's interesting. This bishop, can I push my pawn and let him go to bishop to d5 and just guard myself? It's what I'm wondering there too. So I don't know. Let me try f6. So I don't know what my score is today, but I know that there was a couple of annoying games. One of them a queen for a rook, and I put my queen in the worst place. That was against Camp Red, I think. So that was just terrible. But playing e4 on a simul, sharp games. Maybe it's not, it's not so easy. Okay, let's see what's happening here against Indian taker. Let me give him a check on d3 first. And then I got to try to win this game with all these checks. Okay, now, What to take back with against Zebal? I'm going to take back with the queen. I can make two connected pass pawns against Zebal sometimes, but if his bishop comes to life, I don't know. I think I like my position, but I don't really trust myself today the way I've been playing some of these games. So Zebal probably, I don't know. Does he have to go G6 or G5? Can he let me take on F7? On G7? I don't know. I mean, he can. Should he bring his queen over? Is another question. And if the queens ever were traded, yeah, well, just as I said that, the queens got traded. So if the queens are ever traded, like they just were, what's the deal here? Okay, now I can make a pass pawn, and I don't know if he can make a pass pawn. Does that make a difference? So let's see. If I come up with the king, so do I have to clear up this situation here? Funny move is pawn to D5. Funny move is pawn to D5, trying to make a queen. Is that a real winning attempt, or is it just downright ridiculous? That's a good question. All those pawns on white, he might be able to take them. So pawn to D5, what would his best move be? I don't know. Maybe I. So let's see. So I should take on G7, and then come up with king to F4. And see, I mean, I think I'm better. I'm going to have a slightly better king position. Okay, queen to G5 from Indian taker. And let's see. So if he gets some checks, let's say now this is, so I get my pawn to A6. Maybe my king has to start running around here somehow. Okay, I'm going to try pawn to A5. And Indian Taker's battling in this game. His opening was a little weird, and I thought I was very close to winning. And I might have messed up this queen ending. A B pawn was probably better, and I had queen trade offers on C6. But in endings, as we know, outside pass pawns are better, so that's why I did it. And this is where we are. So I'll see if anything happens here. I mean, if the thing in queen endings is they go on forever, and also my king might try to escape and start running around. That might help things. So if he goes, for instance, he goes queen G4 check, I just go king F1, and I mean, as long as I have my A pawn, I'm trying to win the game. If the A pawn ever drops off, then that's it. Also, if somehow he managed to sack his F pawn for the A pawn, that would just be, I don't think that's a win. You could look up a queen ending I had. I had a lot of queen ending practice. I played a game against Dutch GM Johnny van der Wiel. I think we were both IMs then. It was Graz 1981. They called that the student team championship. And there were Germans back then, so me and Johnny van der Wiel played this game for 6 days. 16 moves at a time. You remember the time control, 40-2. I was always so scared to put a sealed move because my handwriting was bad. So I was always so scared that I always just I arranged to have it always be my opponent's move. And against Dragon, made the draw finally, I think, and nothing left. So that was a good game. I Dragon's opening was tough, very solid. I didn't make any headway at all there. I was equal, and probably I was battling for a draw the whole time. I mean, I don't know if I was worse, but it was clear that the best I was going to get was a draw, which is a lot better than some of the other things that happened to me today. So let's see. Indian Taker's thinking. I don't know if there's any other games going. This is his queen ending. He's trying to figure out what to do. I'm trying to make a queen, and it could go on forever. Zebile. Okay, Zebile has gone. Bishop to e6, and I guess I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go h4. King up from Zebile, and I'm gonna go. Okay, now I have to be a little careful here. If Zebile's king were to get to, for instance, if I went king h4 and he goes king h5, I lose my h pawn. I could win his c pawn, but I don't think that's good. I don't think that's going to be a win. So where's the best place for my knight? I'm going to go knight to e3. Trying to see, I have a chance to make a pass pawn, and he doesn't because of the double pawn. So this is your typical kind of king and pawn, and knight and bishop with a possibility for a king and pawn. I'm wondering if my knight is good on f4 in this position. Maybe I put my king on f4 and a knight on f5, and I don't know if he could take it. Well, yeah, he might be able to take it sometimes. Establish some pawns to block my king out. So I have to keep that one in mind about that. Another thing I'm thinking about is the king and pawn ending if I ever go d5 and take back with a knight. So I have some chances here, but I don't know what to think about this position. Okay, king f6 from Zebile. Now I'm looking at knight to g4. And then he can't, I don't think he could take it. So, all right, I'm going to go king to f4. If I make a pass e pawn, that's got to help me. And then, well, it depends on the situation with the pass e pawn. Okay, queen check from Indian Taker. Yeah, seems like a good move. If I go f3, my king is certainly aired out along the back rank. If I go queen to f3, what does he do then? He attacks my pawn somehow. So f3, and then what does he do? All right, I'm gonna try f3 and might be heading into a draw here. What's the best move for him here? To try and get his queen into my position is the question. How can he do that? If he moves his queen the wrong place, then maybe I get some queen checks on him. Queen d8s or something like that. I don't know. Maybe my king can pop out on the side. I guess it's still going. Yankee game is on. Baseball season started here in the United States. Today, it's actually a nice day. Angela said it's supposed to snow on Monday. So let's see what's Indian Takers starting to get into a little bit of time pressure. So I hope to see some people during the summer. I'm going to the Canadian Open Now Zebul has gone H5. I thought the deal was not to put pawns on the same color as your bishop in endings. So now I have to say, E5 check feels like it's the right move for me now. So E5 check, is that good? I can renegotiate. Okay, I'm going to try E5 check. Okay, now, so we got a queen to F6 move from Indian Taker. Indian Taker is trying to go queen B2 check. That would bother me a lot. So, although if he gets one check in and my king goes up on the side, but then he might have, see, I can't put my king on the side because then he's got queen H8 and stuff like that. So queen B2, I don't know. Let me try queen to A3 to put my queen behind the pawn and see if I could do something here. I'll be going to Atlanta on Thursday to coach the Nationals. There's a lot of Nationals. Okay, King G6 from Zebul. Now, where is the best possible place for my knight to bother him? So, knight maybe coming to E4. Could that be a good routine? So let's see. I'm going to go then. Knight to G3. Is that where I want my knight? Knight F1 to G3 to E4. Okay, I'm going to try knight to F1. Uh-oh. What's going on here with Indian Taker? Indian Taker has gone king to F4. Wow. All right. I'm going to push my pawn and see queen check from Indian Taker, and I'm going to go king to F1, and now here come the checks. And all my stuff's protected, and I'm 2 boxes away from queening. So we got to see what's the deal here. So I try to escape checks so I can push my pawn. My queen's in the perfect spot now, defending all this stuff. So so maybe I do have some winning chances here. I don't know that his king matters in this kind of position. I remember my game with Johnny Vanderweel. My king had to be on the side. That was with an A pawn and nothing else. Okay, let's see what this is. King to G H3. Now I want to make sure I don't get mated here. Let's see if I push and he checks. Where's he checking from? B5. And then I have to cross, so I'm going. All right, my pawn is 1 box away, so now he's got to check me a lot. So where are the checks? Okay, there's a check. I go up. Check there. I go up. Yes, I think I have an idea what he's doing here. Maybe I can I don't know if I can cross. Is a good question because he takes my F pawn and then, well, I don't know. But he can't. Can he take my F pawn though? Okay, we got from Zebal bishop to f5. Okay, and now I'm maneuvering my knight around to where it wants to be. All right, so if I go knight to g3, where do I want this knight? Then he gets this knight to. What's the king and pawn in here? All right, I'm going to try knight g3. I could always relocate. Okay, I have king to b3 or king to c3 against Indian taker. King to b3. Queen takes pawn, king a3, pinned, right? So he can't take the pawn. Okay, king there, and I go, and now I have to be careful here where I go. So did he make a draw here? He might have. King b4. I think he may have arranged a very nice draw here with his king on h3. Queen check. I'm surprised. I thought queen e7 was going to be the right move there. So now I go king to b5. I think he might have made a slight mistake there. Okay, now knight e4 against Zebal, trying to make a pass pawn and then see if I could get my king in there. So threatening pawn takes pawn to win a pawn. And then it's a good knight versus a bad bishop. I'm up a pawn. I assume that should be a win. Although Zebal's made some strange draws against me. There's one memorable one where somehow I have 2 pawns. I'm up 2 pawns with an H and a G, and I don't know what happened. It just got to some position where I did not see a win. Okay, so Zebal has gone d5. All right, now, to win this now, knight c5 is interesting. Push the pawn, king to g5, get something. My knight can. All right, I'm going to try knight to c5 first. Okay, now we have Indian taker is doing a lot of checks to me. I need to be able to block with my queen. All right, I'm going to block with my queen with queen c5. Okay, now against Zebal, what is e6? If I go e6 and he goes king there and I go e7, am I going to win that? All right, I'm going to try it. Can't lose it anyway, I don't think. So he goes there. Okay, now, it's unfortunate I don't have some kind of waiting move, so I'll just push. Okay, now, Indian taker's going queen to queen check, and I'm going to go king to b6. King g5 against Zebal. Bishop to g4, knight to d3, trying to take that h-pawn. Maybe sometimes knight e5, take that c-pawn first and then come back for more. You never know. There could be some zugzwangs. I think I have a lot of knight moves. I don't know. All right, hold on here. Indian taker has gone snatched with queen takes f3, and I go queen check and make a queen. So, and then he'll have a lot of checks, but 2 queens on the board. And the game's over. He just pinned himself, and his f-pawn needs to be on f2 here, and it's only on f3. So I gotta make sure I check him the right way and never let that pawn up. So, queen e4 is right. King there. Okay. Now, if the pawn got to there now, what's the story? Yes, I can let the pawn get there. I think that Indian taker made a draw, though. I think he arranged a nice draw. And then checked me in the wrong place. I thought queen e7. He set up a draw, putting his king on h3. It looked like really nice play. He should check it out. It was an interesting queen ending. I didn't like the way I played it. I should have never made a pass a pawn, but I guess there's always some winning chances somehow. So Indian taker does not have any move here. I'll just pawn my queen on f1, and my king comes closer, and that's that. So I don't know. I'm gonna see what kind of simul this was. So tough game from Indian taker. Bad opening, but battled nicely. Like I said, Zebile's still going. Now against Zebile, I could try to box his king out, but I think knight f4 must be the right thing to do. Does he have anything with desperation with c5? It's a good question. c5, I assume I take it with the b pawn. And then take h5, and I got past pawns, and it looks like, if he has to sack pawns, it's going to take him a while. Yep. c5, take with that. Take h. And I'm going to try to protect my stuff and push the h pawn. Okay, now what's the right way to do this? I should tie him up to d5. And he's pushing that guy. All right, I'm going to bring my king over. Try and put the knight in the way to make a queen. So thanks, everybody, for playing. I'll see everybody in April. And it was a tough simul today. Some ridiculous blunders, absolutely ridiculous blunders today. King to e5. What does he do? I'm going to push my h pawn, and then I'm just going to go knight takes d5. Right? I'm not afraid of b4. I just take it. And yeah, tough game, Zebal. I think I was always better. I didn't think your opening was very sound. A4, H5. That was a dragon. Very solid game from Ears. Very solid. Tricky game against Mickey 1943. I mean, I got to getting involved in theoretical battles. Ernie defended well, but then got back ranked. That was Nicaro Can. Maj, I thought Maj's position was okay, and then all of a sudden, 28 Queen G5. I'm getting nice practice in those openings. Cap Red, I thought that I was always better in that position there, and they call that the Schmidt-Benoni. Nice draw, solid draw from Trivial Pursuit. Touch This, just didn't like his position in the French. Solid game against Mystic Knights. Another French where something bad almost happened, was lucky to draw. Moving Dutchman, I feel like I had him on the run there, but he's a tough one. Cap Red was the one that really annoyed me. Look at the final position. I put my queen on f5, which hangs all my pieces. That's probably the only move that loses in the position. And Kanishka also didn't pay attention and lost the pawn with knight takes g6. And back rank, Hippopotamus has to hang on to his pieces better. And Heian had a good position, and then something happened to him on the A file and wound up losing a piece. And Spin Doc. Spin Doc's opening, another bad opening. 1195 was kind of strong. So thank you, everybody. Let me see what my score was. Oh, 5 draws and 3 losses and 12 wins. Not so good. I got to keep track of that. Try to do better in April. So thank you, everybody. Hope everybody enjoyed the simul. Enjoy our coverage of everything. Congratulations to Fabiano again. And prepare well, and we'll see him versus Magnus in about 6 months. Take care, everybody. See you in April. Bye-bye.